From the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is live coverage of the 51st Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta and the 66th Gordon Bennett Coupe Aeronautique. It's Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. And now, direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are your hosts, Glen Moyer and Lloyd Jr.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and especially boys and girls, to the 51st Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It is Kids Day. You're looking live.
Yippee!
Yay! You are looking live if you're online at Balloon Fiesta Live. If you're on the field, you're hearing us live and seeing us up on the big video wall down there. We've got all kinds of special, exciting stuff happening today. It's going to be a great morning.
It is going to be a great morning. The wind that was here yesterday, it's out of here.
It's in Amarillo. Someone was telling us they had like a 39-mile-an-hour gust just not long ago. By the way, I'm Glen Moyer. This is Lloyd Jr., and we are your co-host for Balloon Fiesta Live.
Thanks for joining us. We do have a big day today. We're going to get started with a Dawn Patrol show, or a Dawn Patrol flight of some sorts. But, you know, we should even back up, because we got started at 4:30 this morning with Kids Day, and kids on the field were treated to some great little goodies and some extra breakfast and stuff. They're out of school today. The weather's going to be great. It's a special shapes day. It's a competition day. It's a ring toss day. It's even a piggy bank type of day.
Piggy bank kind of day. Yeah. We got so much going on. I don't know how we're squeeze it all into our show.
I don't know, but why is this piggy bank here?
All right, this piggy bank, quick story. You can see, maybe you can't. It says Norwest Banks on it. Back in the day, United New Mexico Bank and then Norwest Banks had two special-shaped balloons. First was this one called Miss Penny,
right?
And then there was another one called Little Buck, a boy piggy bank.
Yeah,
well, as
yellow balloon with untied
shoelaces. Yeah. Well, as one of the announcers at that time, I was given one of these banks, and that was 20-plus years ago, I'm sure. And it's been sitting in my bedroom as a doorstop, and I've been filling it with pennies all these years. I've always wanted to bring it back and do something significant with it at Fiesta.
Sure.
Last summer, we started talking. I had an interview with Steve Stucker, our good friend, and once he retired, and he and I were talking, I realized that we both started here officially at Fiesta in 1990.
Okay.
And so he was telling me about what he's doing now in retirement, one of the things which is working on his Beds for Kids charity. And I had not heard of the charity. And I said, well, hey, I've got this piggy bank full of pennies that I've always wanted to do something meaningful with in Albuquerque. It's kind of a thank you for my 34 years here.
Sure.
So anyway, a little bit later this morning, we are going to donate this bank full of pennies and to Steve. We're going to carry it down there to him. We figured it weighs about 30-odd pounds.
Right.
And just to make it a little extra special, we will have an armed guard. There's a crisp $100 bill, Steve, that is going in the bank right now. So there's pennies.
Is the ink dry yet?
Not yet. Nope, speared a little bit. So the $100 bill is going in there with all the pennies, and we'll give that to Steve a little bit later for his charity.
Steve did retire from his job as meteorologist at KOB-TV earlier this year, but he's been out here doing 4 mornings for them, and one of them is this morning. Steve always great with everybody, but especially with kids and pets, and so Steve's out here doing live cut-ins over on Channel 4, and in his 6:40 cut-in, that's when we're going to present the bank to him live on Channel 4, and of course live right here on Balloon Fiesta Live.
So we've got security escort standing by, and they're going to pick up the piggy bank and carry it, Miss Penny, carry it down. And I had to put pennies in it because it was called Miss Penny.
Miss Penny, yeah,
so we're going to carry about 30 pounds worth of pennies and a $100 bill down there and give it to Steve. And Steve and I will have a chat here on Balloon Fiesta Live. So that's what that's all about.
Looking forward to that at 6:40 again, Mountain Time. We'll be able to do that. And then at 7 o'clock, we've got our normal Balloon of the Day and our normal national anthem.
And a not-so-normal flyover.
Yes. A military flyover this morning with 4 helicopters, 2 Ospreys, and a C-130.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun coming in, I believe, from north to south.
And
that's typically the pattern.
A little noisier than our usual, than the chili flight flyover. So,
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be dramatic.
So an exciting day to get our special shape rodeo underway. We've got 100-plus special shapes that'll stand up. Many will fly. Some will stay for us. We've got about 200 Fiesta flyers, regular shaped balloons that will launch off the field and fly away.
Then we're back into competition today.
Exactly. Final day of competition.
Final day of competition, which will be exciting because we didn't fly yesterday. And today is, among other things, going to be ring toss day. So there'll be like 5 poles out on the field. The pilots each have their own little ring that they can drop over that pole for cash prizes. So it's going to be it's going to be a nonstop action and fun, and we're just thrilled that you're here, either online or with us live in the park, where right now you can see our Dawn Patrol team is inflated and doing their thing down on the field. They are sponsored by Route 66 Casino Hotel, and as you can tell from that, the winds this morning perfectly calm after last night.
Yeah, another one of those 0 gusting to 2 miles an hour the last time I checked.
Yeah, but the kind of weather we've had all week except for yesterday. So we're thankful for that. And
it looks good the whole rest of the weekend as well.
Yeah. So do we need to get security and get them on their way down there?
Yeah, I think we need to do that. Yep.
With Miss Penny.
So, yep, let's check in with some folks here. Hey, the Netherlands is back. Tampa, Florida is here. And let's see, the nation's capital is back, North Carolina. And let's see, from Ontario, Canada.
Had somebody that said, good morning from Russia, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, Huntington Beach, California, checking in. Wichita, Kansas. Let's see. Whoops, I just moved the wrong way. We've got Pollock Pines, California. Northern Virginia. Indiana is watching. Buffalo, I would assume that's Buffalo, New York, probably. And let me scroll back and get some of the earlier comments here. Let's see. Oh, somebody already saying, hopefully today is my day to win a Balloon Fiesta Live license plate. We've got to do that today as well. So that's another thing coming up.
We do.
Good morning from Brazil. So our international folks are indeed checking in. A couple of folks from Brazil checking in this morning already. So, yeah, the audience is building, as it always does. A lot of people are actually online waiting for us to sign on. There were comments very early this morning. I think you said there were like 100 people waiting.
Yeah, it turned out to be almost 200 before we actually went live.
Okay, over in the YouTube chat. There's Bear Lake, Pennsylvania. Kathy Aldridge, good morning, Glenn. Hi, Kathy. How are you, dear? Hope all is well at home.
And we have folks in the parking lot, arrived from NYC last night. Yep.
Buffalo, New York, Eastern Plains, Colorado.
New Lenox, Illinois, Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Mobile, Alabama, Beloit, Wisconsin. Good morning from Belgium. Good morning, Sandy.
Romero,
Cheyenne,
Michigan.
Yeah, Cheyenne, Oklahoma. There's Denver, Colorado. So, yeah. All around, as usual. Great to have you all joining us.
Exactly. And just a good time to remind you that while we are now on, let's see, day 7. Have
to keep counting, yes.
Yeah, we have a number of our shows, all of our shows so far, as well as all the past 6 years worth of shows.
That's right.
Remain archived on the Balloon Fiesta Live webpage, which you can get to from balloonfiesta.com.
I'd be curious I'm going to have to do that when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch our first year together.
Yeah.
And doing Balloon Fiesta Live. And because we worked 1 year as just announcers, PA announcers together before we started doing Balloon Fiesta Live. So this is our 8th year together for you and I.
Yes.
But I'd be curious to see and compare that first year's show to the show that we're producing today.
Yeah. I think you'll see a pretty drastic difference.
I'm sure. A lot of upgrades, a lot of new technology.
What I was thinking about doing is going back and looking what we look like on the first day of this year. To the last day.
Okay.
And kind of see what happens in 9 days and 50 hours of broadcast time,
See how much we age. I was thinking you're going to go back and look at us.
Well, that would be another one.
The first show we did together on Balloon Fiesta Live, and then look at our last one on Sunday morning.
Yep.
Compare those two. That would be fun as well.
That would be something, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had gray hair throughout, so I'm not sure you'd see much change in my case.
Yeah, I think I was already there too. So, yeah. Gosh, what a great morning this is going to be.
There is the opportunity to do a little editing, behind the scenes.
But we don't. We take the show, we throw it up there.
That's right.
So I don't even trim off. Sometimes we start the live stream just a little earlier than the other days. And there's been a couple of years where we've actually started the stream just a little bit late. I don't even try and fix any of that. It's a live show. It is what it is.
It's
been out there.
Warts and all.
Boom.
And there it is.
Grab the link and put it on the page so that it's all linked right there on Balloon Fiesta Live, balloonfiesta.com, and then the Balloon Fiesta Live webpage.
And you can watch us on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the calendar to keep up with all the things that we've got going on, and I saw that my friend Ann back in Louisiana said good morning. I was seeing her comment on the phone here. Greenville, South Carolina. Tom Mullinex. Good morning, Tom. A lot of my ballooning friends who can't be here this weekend are checking in to say hello. So that's
Pilot's briefing is underway on the far west side of the field, and we're monitoring what's going on there, and we're going to try and check in with weather when they get to that part of Pilot's briefing. Yesterday we heard all the doom and gloom, and today we're going to hear all the let's go fly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Type of information, so we're looking forward to hearing that. Merchandise continues to sell well on the field, I think, for all of our vendors, and of course breakfast is over there as well. And the official merchandise tents open, ready for you. Look at all the flickery lights that were going on the.
Yeah. Those are concession sold lights, I'm sure, but there's a bunch of them out there.
Bunch out there this morning.
Yeah.
And then don't forget tonight our Special Shapes Rodeo.
That's right.
And if you were here last night, if you were on the field last night, you know that we ended up having to put the red flag up for ballooning operations.
Yes, because it was windy, gusting to 20 at one time last night, so it just wasn't safe to do even a candlestick. We even eventually had to pull the plug on that idea.
Which means last night became a red flag and a rain check night for us.
Right.
So if you have tickets, if you were here last night, you can just reuse those tickets, but you have to reuse them this year. So you have to use them like this morning, tonight, either session tomorrow or on Sunday.
You can't wait and come back next Thursday for the Special Shapes.
No, or even next year.
Or even that's what I meant. Not next Thursday. I meant Thursday of next year.
Right.
For the Glodio. You can't do that, but you can come back in and use it for any session remaining this year.
So look what's happening here. Our Dawn Patrol show is kind of repositioning some of the balloons, and so what that indicates to us is that we're going to see another one of those cluster launches this morning.
Oh, good. That's always a tremendous sight to see, and it's also a great photo op.
Yes,
I know
it is.
When they did that earlier this week, Facebook, and I'm sure other social media as well, but I checked Facebook, was flooded with incredible images of them flying off all together in sort of a very tight formation. So it's always fun to see.
Because they line up in a nice straight line. And so that they can actually get that cluster, they kind of move about every other one just a little bit forward and in a little bit to kind of make that a little more compact and tighten up that formation. And so that's where we are at this point. They're repositioning a little bit, and then we should see a fabulous cluster launch of our Dawn Patrol team.
I see Jeff Westline.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry. Anyway, sorry, Jeff, about the last name, but his comment caught my eye because he says, "Thank you, Art and Glenn. Your dedication is appreciated." Well, thank you. We appreciate all of our viewers. Your dedication is what we appreciate. Because if people weren't watching from around the world,
we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, we'd be down there, selling burritos or something.
Yeah, and it's great to see the same names keep coming back year after year and sticking with us for the entire. They're there waiting for us to go on, and they're there right at the end of it as well. So it is great to have that group of people.
Well, we've talked about how many times when our friend Ina over in the Netherlands is almost always first to sign on with us and invariably says hello. And it's fun because sometimes we make new friends. I was saying earlier this week, a gentleman from China has been communicating with me after he commented in our Facebook group and found out that there's a group over in China who are working to build type certified balloons, and they're hoping to bring the first Chinese built balloon to Albuquerque for Balloon Fiesta, perhaps as early as next year. And it turns out that a few years ago, a team from China rented one of my balloons to fly here at Fiesta, because I couldn't use it, I was up here, and I have a really nice memento, a Chinese flag they all signed for me. Well, it turns out the gentleman who I've met through our chat room his instructor is one of those pilots who was here with the team from China some years ago that flew my balloon here. So small world sometimes that you find in our chat rooms as well.
We have folks watching from the Park and Ride buses, also Las Vegas, Nevada. Julie A. says, I'm one of those same name people. Yes, you are, Julie. Thanks for watching.
Well, and if you do get stuck in traffic and you've got your phone with you or a tablet, you can always, you can watch the show and not miss anything while you're, navigating traffic. Just have the driver not do that, but the rest of you in the car can be watching the feed online until you get through the gates and can make it onto the field.
Yep, James is here from England, hoping to fly here one day. We hope you come and fly here as well, James. Marco's from Switzerland asking about the wind. There ain't none.
There is none, yeah.
So
the wind is now in West Texas where it should be. So speaking of Texas, Scott Larry checking in from Spring, Texas. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is online. Somebody said Albuquerque here, watching from Albuquerque. Well, okay.
And we are away with our Dawn Patrol flight this morning.
We are indeed. There they go.
And there you go. Yes, indeed. You see that we talked about the cluster.
I was going to say, do we call that a cluster launch?
That's what I call it.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people might call it a simultaneous launch.
Well, or a formation flight.
Yeah. Everybody makes up their own words for it.
Yeah. Statesville, North Carolina, checking in. Statesville has its own very fine balloon rally. In fact, our friend Don Edwards, who used to be the event director here, is now then moved to Alaska. He's now, I think, the executive director of the Statesville event, if I'm correct about that. Hello from Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. We've talked a lot about St. Jean-sur-Richelieu because they have a nice balloon here, but Gatineau, for a number of years, had their own very fine balloon event. Maybe they still do. I haven't seen a lot about it most recently. Somebody watching from Sandia Resort and Casino. Well, okay. Centralia, Illinois, another place, another city where there's a very fine balloon event. So Michael Sawyer, good morning, Michael. Good to hear from you, my friend. South Dakota checking in. Barbara Mason Van commenting there. Watching from Wadley, Alabama. All right. Brenda Dolly Kalishaw, good morning. Looks great. Can't wait to be back to see you all in person. Safe travels back, Brenda. Brenda, of course, was in one of the USA gas balloon teams for the Gordon Bennett. She and Noah Forden. I was so hoping they were going to end up on the podium. For a while they were, and at the last minute they got just slightly bumped off. I think they finished in 4th place. But Brenda, so proud of you and all that you've accomplished in gas ballooning. Very dear friend of mine, and please, safe travels back. We look forward to seeing you back here in Albuquerque.
What a great morning with the Dawn Patrol team up there this morning.
Look at that.
Yeah, staying very close together in that cluster synchronized formation. How about if we do it that way? We throw all three of the words in.
It's like synchronized swimming and
with their marker lights that are required of all aircraft.
Right, navigation lights that you have to have if you're going to fly a Dawn Patrol, because we are generally required to fly under what's called VFR, Visual Flight Rules, which through the FAA that requires us to only be airborne from sunrise until sunset. We don't generally fly hot air balloons in the darkness because we don't have the instrumentation to be able to do that without being able to literally visually see where you're going and what's around you and below you. So those navigation lights are required for special circumstances where we do fly prior to sunrise or after sunset, and Dawn Patrol is one of those occasions.
The significance of the white light there is in aircraft. If you are approaching an aircraft and you see a white light, that means that you are coming up upon that aircraft. It's not going across to the left or the right, but you are actually coming up on that aircraft. So by being white on the balloon, no matter which direction you see the balloon from, you're obviously coming in towards that balloon, giving the balloon the right of way over any other aircraft except those in distress.
Yeah, and Stéphane Melou tells me that Gatineau does indeed still have its balloon festival, the Festival de Montgolfiers de Gatineau, but it is smaller now because of the lack of landing sites. Too many houses in development in the area, but good to know that event is still going. We have, for a variety of reasons, especially after COVID, lost a number of very fine balloon events around the country. So it's good to know that some of the great ones are still ongoing. Gatineau being amongst them. I got to go to St. John a few years ago. Never have had the privilege of flying in Gatineau, but I know it's a very fine event.
Lots more places checking in. Let's see, we've got Savannah, Georgia, St. Louis, Missouri, Reading, Pennsylvania. Yes, Patrick, get back to work on those insurance processing things. Patrick Smith from Air Insurance. Frederick, Maryland watching. Thomas is here from Laguna, Deer Park, Texas. And congratulations on a nice, safe, slow, very gorgeous launch coming in from David.
Barbara Tomlin is watching this morning. Good morning,
hi, Barb.
And Tucson, Arizona, checking in. Nancy McBurney is watching from Midland, Texas. I've really enjoyed your broadcast and watching all these wonderful balloons. Thank you so much. Let's see, Joe Shrigley says, how's the weather? Looking for the eclipse. We'll find out a little bit later today at some point. I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk with our chief meteorologist and get that information for you. He normally makes a journey over here to the tower. We'll be checking in with him for flying weather here today very shortly. Sherry Kime says, I'm excited for the eclipse. So are we. Knoxville, Tennessee, checking in, North Dakota.
And there isn't a person I've talked to who isn't planning on being out here at Balloon Fiesta Park.
It's going to be a crowd
for tomorrow's eclipse.
Yeah, I would suggest, I got up and left a little earlier this morning thinking the traffic might be a bit heavier than it was during the week because of Kids Day. And I would think tomorrow, with the eclipse, it's going to be there. Speaking of weather and the eclipse, let's check in with Brad T. Meyer over at Pilot Briefing Now, our chief meteorologist, and get today's weather.
I'm going to have the latest pieball information up there while I go through the observations, and then I'll dive into the details. This run was made probably in the last 20 minutes to a half an hour, so it's going to have a lot of great data for you. Speaking of data, we have a couple outages. The wind profiler right now is not giving us anything above 500 feet. We've been in contact with the city who owns the profiler and loans it to us throughout the week. And we're going to try to get that fixed for you guys by the time you get in the air. So we're hoping that that's going to be the case, but just wanted to make you aware that you're only going to get the lowest 500 feet currently off of the profiler data. Also, there's a model data outage on one of the main sites. So Ryan Carlton's site is down as well. That will be back up as soon as that website is updated. So until that point, we have to use other sources and that sort of thing, but we still have weather data for you this morning. Okay, latest information let's see here. Let's start at Sunport, temperature of 44 degrees, dew point 16, relative humidity 31%. The barometric pressure is on the rise at 30.09 inches of mercury. Visibility is 10 miles and clear, and let's see here, they're running a wind of 170 at 3 knots at Sunport. Up at Double Eagle, they have the drainage, and so they're much colder. Temperature of 32 degrees, dew point of 12, relative humidity 43%. Let's see here, visibility is unrestricted and sky conditions clear. Winds are 300 at 7 knots. So here's kind of what you're going to see this morning. In the near surface layer, I think we're going to have some light and variable conditions. And then once you get up to about, say, 300 to 500 or maybe even 600 feet, the winds will be out of the north. That's going to be that drainage that comes down. But I think the drainage in the near surface layer is going to be pretty light and shallow and probably somewhat variable. The most consistent in the drainage is going to be in that 300 to 600 foot range, and that's kind of where I expect the strongest north to south push, true north to south push. Then above that, I expect some sort of transition layer, and that's where it'll be variable. Some of the models even suggested that there might be a very, very weak box, but I don't think that that's going to be consistent for you. So I think there may be a few pilots that find it, but I think you're really going to have to search to find it. Otherwise, the general flow is going to be out of the west to northwest, so you'll have a layer there out of the northwest above that. And then once you get higher, then it's generally going to be out of the west or northwest. And then if you go high up towards the blue PZ, you'll get in that northwest to southeast flow. So the general progression is going to be from north to south this morning, but you might find some variations, especially in those transition layers, that may bring you elsewhere. All right, so there's the pieball information. I'll put that back up here in a bit. So here's what we've got going on the large scale. We've got basically a very strong area of low pressure. That's tomorrow. Let's go. Let's go back to today. All right, so we got a large area of low pressure across the center portion of the country, high pressure back to the west, and so that clockwise flow around the high is going to lead to weak northerly flow. In addition to that, we've had the cooling overnight, and you can see that Santa Fe is colder than us, so we are going to get some drainage, I expect. But you notice there's not a huge temperature differential there, only 7 degrees, so given that that's the case, I don't expect it to be overly strong. But we do have two forces working in tandem together. So given that that's the case, it could get a little brisk in that 300 to 700 foot layer, maybe up to like 6-7 miles an hour, but I don't think it will be too strong for us this morning. Here at the field locally, in case you haven't felt it already, we are bound in the 30s, and once you get down towards the river valley, it's even as cold as freezing. So it's really going to start to cool off, and you're going to see a lot of localized effects and everything. And especially with those weak winds, I think you're going to see those localized effects. The TAFs are absolutely fantastic today, and they are basically suggesting, so the Albuquerque TAF has variable 4 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and few 25,000 feet, and that goes all the way till 8 o'clock tonight. So that even covers the glow tonight. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic day for us. Over at Double Eagle, very, very similar. They're forecasting through 8 p.m., 300 at 4 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and few 25,000 feet. The density altitude, I haven't done the obs yet. Did I do the obs? Yeah, I did them. Okay, density altitude is very, very similar to the actual altitude. Because we're so cold, you're near a standard atmosphere. So given that that's the case, Sunport is at 5,400 density altitude, and Double Eagle is at 5,100. Okay, I think I breezed through everything that I wanted to share with you guys today. I'll put let's put that back up so you guys can see the latest pieball information there. That's going to give you some more winds aloft that you're not going to have otherwise. And with me this morning, I have Jack Jones. He is my weather helper of the day with the Serenity Balloon and the Quandinkle Balloon team. The good news is that it is his birthday today. It's his 12th birthday today.
What an honor to get to send off the pieball weather balloon on your 12th birthday.
Really, that'll be a memory he'll keep for quite some time, I'm sure. Every day they pick a young person to be an assistant with the weather team and launch the final pieball for the flight. So, yeah, that's all.
What a great forecast, though,
I was going to say, the takeaway from that was it's not only going to be great this morning, it's going to be great tonight.
And all through the day, so you could just hang out right on through everything.
Long. It's going to be a great day to just tailgate, take a nap, stretch out on the grass, and just wait and be here again tonight.
There you go.
I might just nip off and get a bit of kip behind the backdrop here today. It might be that nice. So,
and for competition that will get underway about 8 o'clock this morning after we get our other balloons launched at 7.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them to navigate here. They might only get one pass, but then there might be something show up there. So it's going to be an interesting day of strategy and competition and navigation to watch for when we get to that part of the morning.
And it's always interesting to see what effect, if any, the sun has when it rises and begins to heat the field, warm things up. Sometimes we see some wind shifts in there. Sue Cassidy on our Facebook group says, good morning, appreciate all your hard work and keeping us updated. Question, where is our favorite roving reporter, Ruth Lind? Miss her updates. We're all missing Ruth.
Yes,
She's
we are.
not able to be with us this year, and we know that she's greatly disappointed because she wanted to be a part of the Gordon Bennett, in which case...
And Balloon Fiesta Live.
And Balloon Fiesta Live. But in all honesty, had she been here, had she been able to be with us, she was going to be the director of the command post for the Gordon Bennett, so likely would not have been able to work with us
quite as much on
Balloon Fiesta Live.
We had actually been talking about it, and we knew that her involvement with us would be a little bit diminished.
A bit limited
partly
this year.
Because there's all kinds of reasons, but then it turned out she couldn't be here at all. Right. Ruth Lind, we miss you very much.
We all miss you and are thinking about you, and the audience has been asking about you all week long. And so, we look forward to having Ruth join us back here next year. So that's the update on the question. As I say, people wondering where Ruth is at, and we miss her and wish her the best, and hopefully we'll see her back with us next year. We all are hoping to be back here next year for the 52nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. By the way, the theme is Embrace the Sky next year. We'll talk about that later today. as the new bumper stickers are already out and available.
Embrace the sky.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Did you say that?
I did. Yes, you were doing some producing stuff there, so, yep.
Well, I heard you talking about him. I didn't,
Yeah, I did say that, just because I don't remember why, but anyway.
And be sure and pick up those bumper stickers from the
'cause
information booth
they're
or from
free.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a great way to keep Balloon Fiesta in your mind and the minds of all of your friends and neighbors and folks that you are stuck in traffic with.
Yeah.
When Balloon Fiesta is.
Unless, of course, you've won a Balloon Fiesta Live license plate, and that's an even better way to keep Balloon Fiesta in front of everyone.
That says that you are a fan when you have the license plate.
That's right.
And of Balloon Fiesta Live, and the sticker is just Balloon Fiesta.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking more about the Balloon Fiesta Live license plate a little bit later this morning.
We have a giveaway to do as well. We give away 3 of those every session. We'll be doing that later today.
Yep.
Top of the morning from Pauline and Malcolm once again over in the Emerald Isle. Good morning, Pauline and Malcolm. We miss you guys being here. Hopefully you'll be back flying with us next year.
Profound regards from India. Oh, great.
My goodness.
Yeah, good deal. All kinds of folks checking in over there as we continue to watch our Dawn Patrol.
Dina Lee says, y'all are so dramatic. Embrace the sky. It's not us. That's Fiesta's official theme. We're just the messenger.
And Chick-fil-A, Craig Kennedy and the Chick-fil-A balloon kind of doing double duty this morning.
He is.
Because he's part of the Dawn Patrol team standing up. He is because this is Kids Day, sponsored by Chick-fil-A. He is the balloon of the day. So he gets to start at 6 and go right through the launch of the balloon of the day at 7.
Okay.
So, yeah. Lots of great exposure. Chick-fil-A becoming a really great sponsor here for us with lots of different activities here at Balloon Fiesta. And then, of course, they brought the Chick-fil-A balloon here. It flies around Albuquerque in New Mexico, the kind of southwest region here. Flies around here all year long now.
Work up in Phoenix as well, up in that area, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, but so they're kind of spreading out and building on their balloon program to use those to support their restaurants.
We might see them come to our event in Shreveport, Louisiana, because we do have a brand new Chick-fil-A restaurant just down the street a bit from my home. And so it would be nice to have their balloon visit us at the Red River Balloon Rally. Perhaps we can work that out.
Look at that shot in the sky.
Yeah. The cluster didn't remain as long as sometimes they do, and maybe that's an indication of, we heard Brad talk about that layer that about 300 feet. It would be a little bit stiff right in there, 6 to 7 miles per hour. That's not
and a little bit, a little bit of changing things happening there. So, but still, what a gorgeous, gorgeous picture. And that's Michael Scott. Well. Yeah, that's Michael.
Yeah, that's Michael Scott.
Yeah, that's
right
Michael. I saw him, and then I wanted to make sure it was the same one on the feed.
The same one on the feed, yeah. Sometimes we see one thing in the sky and another thing on the monitors. But no, in that case, it was the same, and that is
and they are
Michael
indeed
Scott.
drifting to the south now.
And you were saying earlier that Michael Scott is no longer going to fly Dawn Patrol next year, that he's going to start joining. Is he coming into the safety team? Is that
yes, he's joining the safety team.
Okay.
This is Michael's 30th year here at Balloon Fiesta, and he's been flying Dawn Patrol for at least most of them, if not all of them. And he told me this year that this will be his last year flying at Balloon Fiesta and flying Dawn Patrol. He has been asked to join the safety team, and he is excited to make that transition here. So he'll still be around, just not in the sky.
Not in the sky.
Making sure that those who are staying safe.
Well, and you and I have both done that. We have both been pilots and flown here at Fiesta, and then at some point stepped out of the basket and
into a different role.
And in my case, stepped out and onto the rooftop studio, which used to be the super secret announce tower. But we've advanced since then.
No secrets anymore.
No, not at all.
Can't keep anything. So.
Oh, that balloon you were talking about earlier this week. Here's Helen Powers saying she's watching from Massachusetts, rooting for my friend Judy's nephew, piloting the Spirit of 76.
All right.
You were saying that's one of your favorite balloons here earlier this week.
Someone is asking about the Chick-fil-A balloon allowed to fly on Sundays, as all the restaurants, of course, are closed on Sundays. No, Chicklet, the name of the Chick-fil-A balloon, does not fly on Sundays.
That's right.
At best, the trailer kind of moves from one place to the other.
Dina Lee says, now I'm hungry for chicken. Well, there's probably a Chick-fil-A somewhere nearby.
They do breakfast.
They do.
They do breakfast.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Watching from the Northeast Heights, which is very nearby, as a matter of fact. Good morning from Albany, Oregon, which is not so nearby.
There you go. And hi to all the folks that are still trying to get here in traffic.
I've seen several comments from people. One lady said, I've lived here all my life and never seen traffic like this. Maybe she hasn't been up this early in the morning. That could be part of it. But, yeah, apparently traffic is quite heavy out there this morning. That's why I'm saying tomorrow morning we expect it to be even more so.
Even more so,
with
yes.
all the eclipse. Yeah. So many people probably coming here just to see the eclipse. And you know. And then
it's kind of two. It's kind of two
it's
groups of
two
people.
Audiences, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
there's the people that are here for the balloons and say, "Oh, there's an eclipse."
That's
and
cool.
then there's all the people that are coming for the eclipse and say, "Oh, there's some balloon stuff going on."
Yeah,
yeah. And so the two audiences, the two groups of people are going to converge tomorrow here at Balloon Fiesta Park for the annularity or the annular eclipse.
We even have people from NASA coming to town.
And NOAA.
Yeah. So yeah. It's going to be quite a happening tomorrow, which will be fun. We'll squeeze that all in between our balloon flight in the morning and then our award ceremony at noon or 11-ish. When do we start that?
Somewhere around 11.
11, okay.
Yeah, because you know everybody's going to be outside for the annularity of the eclipse.
Yeah, for the eclipse.
And so
that's supposed to reach its peak at what, about 10:30-ish, I think?
Yeah, 10:34, 10:35.
Okay.
But yeah, 10:30 is close enough. It's actually in terms of an eclipse, the totality or the annularity, the maximum annularity, is actually quite long, like 4 minutes.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
and it's not a total eclipse.
No,
because there will still be the sun will still be visible. There's hopefully we'll see what they call the ring of fire, which will be just the rim of the sun visible around the eclipsing moon.
And the other thing that we discovered and kind of researching this and making sure that everybody's ready to move forward with this is the fact that we always think of an eclipse as moving left to right or right to left.
Right.
But because this is the sun coming up behind the moon, it's going to be a vertical
eclipse.
A motion in the way that it all comes together. So that I'm anxious to see that.
I am too. I don't know that I've ever seen that, and it's kind of appropriate as we're here watching balloons fly, which of course are vertical flights. We launch from the ground and go up. Well, I guess all flights are that way, but but anyway, it ties in with the balloon theme. So
actually, if you're planning on being out here tomorrow for the eclipse and you're trying to figure out a place to kind of scope things out, just remember that about 10:30 today would be the most proper time to figure out what the sun angle is. Where is it in the sky? What's the angle? How high is it going to be? What direction it is going to be? So if you set an alarm on your watch for today at 10:30, then you'll be able to spot out
check where the sun is,
where it's going to be tomorrow, because it's going to be very close.
Yeah, and make sure. Which I'm glad to learn that, because by 10:30 in the morning, the sun is up high enough in the east that it's over the building.
It is over the building.
To our right, so we'll be able to see it from here at the rooftop studio.
And there's been lots of folks and organizations, I think CNN and a number of other folks have been reaching out to us to say, where's the best vantage point to get a picture of the balloons and the eclipse? Because we are doing a 72 balloon eclipse during the annularity.
We're doing a 72 balloon glow during the eclipse.
Yes. I knew that didn't come out right.
Yes,
but you know, in thinking about that though, to get close enough to have the balloon, and while the sun we think of as being very big and very bright, in reality it's a pretty tiny small little ball up there in the sky.
Yeah.
And so
especially in a photograph, it's going to be small.
Yeah, and to try and put the balloon here and get that kind of angle, that's going to be a tough shot.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough shot to get.
Yeah.
So.
I would think you'd have to be somewhere over on the west side of the field, and really somewhere fairly either on the field or very nearby.
But if you zoom in on the sun, then the balloon is going to kind of get way too big for the picture.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to balance that zoom level.
Well, and it might be that a wider shot with several balloons and then the eclipse
would be a better
in
shot.
The sky would be the better shot, better framing. Yeah.
That or photo editing after the fact.
Yeah, well, there's always Photoshop. You know, probably be some folks who will just take a stock picture of a balloon and Photoshop in their own eclipse and claim that they were there.
So a few minutes ago, when we got started on the show, you talked about your piggy bank, Miss Penny, and that you filled up.
Piggy bank.
Yep. And we have sent our unarmed but strong-armed guards down. There are no firearms allowed on the field.
No, there are not.
Yeah, so we just have strong-armed people, not otherwise. We've sent them down to where Steve Stucker is. He's just south of the Main Street stage.
Right.
And he's doing his cut-ins for Channel 4, KOB TV. He's doing those. And we're just moments away from him hitting that cut-in. And we're going to pick that up live here as soon as that happens, and then let you get through. They're saying about 30 seconds.
Well, that'll be a chance to do the formal donation, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have just given it and said, "Hey, Steve, here's a bunch of money."
Yeah.
You know, but we thought because he and I both worked here at Fiesta that it would be, and the bank, of course, came from Fiesta, and so it's got a lot of Fiesta ties. We just thought it would be something fun to do.
And one more little element in upping our game here and being able to simulcast multiple places at the same time.
Yeah, so it'd be great to tie in with KOB.
Pull all this together.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we're just waiting for the cue. All right. So let's just kind of tune in down there. Let's pick up Mr. Stucker down there.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Good to see you.
Good morning, Steve.
How are you?
We're
great.
Fine. How are you?
Glenn?
Great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. Honored to be on the big screen with Glenn and Art. It's always been my dream in life. Now I can die a happy old man.
Yeah. Hey, loving the beard, my friend. Loving the beard.
Loving the beard.
Hey, thank you. You know, now that I'm retired, I can't afford razor blades. So, you know, just kind of going with the flow and trying some new things. But very happy to be out here for 4 days this year. Monday was first day in 35 years I missed a Balloon Fiesta event. I was kind of jonesing, but I'm out here again today and then tomorrow. So this is fun. A lot of fun today.
Well, it's brilliant to see you out in all of your pin magic. That suit, I think, probably weighs more than that piggy bank does.
I'm not sure, Glenn. I haven't grabbed a hold of it yet. And you know, if we can kind of zoom in here, the way he's holding it, this is what I'm describing as a picture of it's the south end of a pig facing north. We might want to turn that around and get a little bit more scenic shot here of the front of. I'm trying to remember, was this Miss Penny all those years ago?
Yes, that was Miss Penny, and that's why the bank is filled with pennies for your charity, Beds for Kids.
Oh my gosh, let me see. They're talking about how heavy it is. Let me see if I can get my arm around it here and hold it one-handed. Okay, I got it. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think. Oh my gosh! Now, Glenn, do you have any idea how much is inside there?
I have no idea. I've had that bank for probably 20 plus years and been putting pennies in it, and then just for a little bit of icing on the cake, I dropped a fresh $100 bill in there this morning for you. So,
well, it's raining $100 bills, and anybody else that wants to throw those in, we're here to take them for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
but thank you so much, Glenn. And for those that don't know, I run the nonprofit called Beds for Kids. We've placed almost 18,000 people in free beds over the past several years here in Albuquerque, all around the state. We do it about 200 people every month, and we've got some big things planned between now and the end of the year. So these pennies and your $100 bill will go to a very good cause, and we're extremely grateful to you for thinking of us in this way, Glenn. Thank you very much.
I'm thrilled to do it, Steve. When you and I talked earlier this summer and realized we started here the same year together, I've always wanted to do something with the bank as kind of a payback for the many great years I've had at Fiesta, and to discover you have this great charity and it's Kids Day here. I can't think of a better way to celebrate and to honor your long career here at Fiesta as well.
Well, thank you. I call that God connecting the dots when it all comes together that way. And we're very, very grateful to you. And I'll get some pictures of the kids jumping up and down. There's nothing like seeing an 8, 9-year-old boy the moment he's about to get his very first bed. And we thank you for contributing. And if anybody's watching around the world and would like to contribute, we do have a website. It's bedsforkids.org. The word beds, the number 4, kids with a Z, bedsforkids.org. Thank you all very much.
Outstanding. My pleasure. Thanks, Steve, and have a great morning at Fiesta. Great Kids Day. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you. God bless you.
What a great little presentation there.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun, and to be able to do that. And, of course, it's still dark here, trying to get that shot of you on the screen
yeah,
there.
the light balance was a little difficult. So,
but all the folks down there got to see you on your own camera.
Yeah, well, and I'm not the important thing here. The important thing is the money and giving it to the charity, and so that Steve can continue to do good here in Albuquerque. And I'm just, as I say, it was just a small way for me to kind of say thank you to the community for the 34 great years I've had here. I'm not going anywhere. Steve's retired. He's still out here part-time. I don't have any plans of walking away anytime soon. Maybe I'll get pushed away, but that might be another story. But so, yeah, just a fun way because of the Fiesta ties. I thought we could do something with that and do some good for the community. So excited to do that.
Good job.
Yeah.
And I do keep pushing on Steve to join us more often now that he's retired. And
I know. I wish he would. And now that he's got the facial hair, he fits right in with you and I.
He's got the facial uniform.
Yeah, he now has the face for radio that you and I have had for so many years.
You know, Steve and I actually started at different radio stations together about the same time.
Oh, really?
Then we both moved on to TV. He stayed there. I went back into education and did some teaching and things like that, and got more involved into technology types of things before coming back to broadcasting through Balloon Fiesta Live here. So yeah. All right.
Well, that was fun. I hope Steve has a good day, and
you saw it took two strong-armed guys.
I noticed Steve was having trouble holding that thing by himself. Hopefully, he'll be able to get the piggy bank to a bank where they can count it, and maybe we can get an idea of how much money was in there at
before
some point,
the end of the
week.
week.
Before the end of Fiesta, if at all possible. But
if not, we'll do some stuff with it.
Yeah, it's not critical, but I'm just curious. I'd like to know too. I meant to try and weigh the bank before I left. We think it's about 30+ pounds.
Yeah, everybody that's tried to pick it up here, said 30. I would almost even say 35.
Okay.
So yeah.
Anyway,
great deal. Thanks for doing that. That was fun.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me do that for everybody at Fiesta and for Steve.
You bet. So we are now just about 10 or 12 minutes away from the Balloon of the Day launch. That would be Chick-fil-A because it is Kids Day.
Yep.
Sponsored by Chick-fil-A. He's been standing up as he's also part of the Dawn Patrol. And we'll have a special military flyover.
That's right. First time
ever. Is it ever? I'm not.
I can never recall one here before. I mean, we've had different flights.
Yeah, we've had other flyovers,
groups,
but to get the military here,
I don't recall that we've ever had a U.S. military flyover.
We've been working on it for a number of years to try and get them involved, and so we're expecting that this morning with 4 helicopters. 2 Ospreys. There is a whole training wing for Ospreys here in Albuquerque.
Okay.
So we get to see them flying around the area quite regularly. It's going to be great to see them fly over in formation with the helicopters and a C-130.
Now the Osprey, isn't that the aircraft that has the
tiltable blades
or gimbal engines where they can be flat out like an airplane, or they can then gimbal them up. So they're rotary type wings.
Yep, those are the ones.
Engines. Okay, that's
those
what I
are
thought.
the ones. Yep,
cool. It'd be good to see them this morning.
Yeah, they're always fun to see and definitely loud.
Yes, it will definitely be a little bit noisier than the Chili Flight flyover that we enjoyed on opening Saturday.
But the Chili Flight will be here tomorrow morning.
That's right. They'll be back tomorrow morning. So, so a little something different today for Kids Day. The kids will all be down there going, ooh, look at that. A lot of adults will be too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because it will be fun. And of course, I know that the flyover team will be aware of Dawn Patrol being in the sky as well. So
yes, the amount of communications on radios and timing and all that stuff is
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So which is why you'll hear me occasionally on the radio and checking the time checks.
Art has to do. Pardon me, I was yawning. Art has to do some of that producing stuff, and so he'll be on a radio communicating and working out some of the timing and those types of things. So you might overhear that occasionally on the over the microphone. Oh, here's Dina Lee. She's been really sharp this morning. She says, "Triple Beard Brothers." I'd watch that. That would be if we could get Steve to join the show. And I think you were telling me the story how Steve, when he was on television, they didn't allow full facial hair, and so it wasn't until he retired that he was able to grow his beard. I can remember that too. Back when I worked in television, although I was eventually allowed to have my beard on TV,
right,
where I worked in Texas. But and you see more and more of that now in television. But there are some places where they prefer that you not have facial hair. So But yeah, it was good to see Steve joining
the
Harry crew.
Yeah, and I can just add to that, I ran into that as well. I got hired as basically a reporter photographer, and I had the beard, and so it was kind of okay. I was on the air just a little bit here, but then I moved up the ranks through assistant editor and producer to actually start anchoring more, and I had my beard, but I know that there was a little bit of angst on the part of the owner that this anchor had a beard on the air, and so there was some stuff going back and forth with that, but I was successful, and now, of course, everybody's got them.
Yeah, I had very much the same experience. And back in the day when you and I first got started, generally you did get hired as a reporter photographer because, for example, you and I might have been a team and we went out to do your story. I would be the photographer, you would be the reporter.
Yes.
And then we would go do my story and I would turn to be the reporter and you would be the photographer. In those days, you had to be able to do both.
That's exactly what I was hired to do.
Yeah.
I was stationed in our Santa Fe, the Capitol Bureau, working for
Okay, yeah, I was doing the very same thing in my hometown of Beaumont, Texas, when I first started in television.
Wow, it's going to take me a moment to figure out what competition is today.
I see you looking at all the graphics.
We just got
over
4 graphics from Balloonmeister Henry Rosenbaum that describes what the tasks are today.
Well, I'll let you figure it out while Dina Lee is talking again. Now folks here in Texas look like Duck Dynasty fell. It's beard severe. Yeah, some people can carry it a little far. Green flag is up. Is somebody commenting? I'm sure it is. I haven't seen it yet. But and maybe the Balloon Fiesta app, if you have that on your phone, they send out those kinds of updates. I've got my phone tied up watching this stream because my iPad is what I use our spotting app on. I need a third digital platform up here. And I should have brought my Amazon Fire, and I could use that, but I'll remember that next year. Anyway, yeah, so I can't be looking at the app at the same time. And I've noticed I'm missing some messages. People will try to message me during the morning on my phone, and I don't see those until after we're done because, as I say, I have my phone linked to watching the Facebook feed and following the chat group there. So if I miss your message, my apologies, but I'll get back to you later.
So we're going to have the polls. And we talked about that you would bring the pole in competition. That's one of the tasks.
Yeah, ring the pole.
And there is like $2,000 on each pole, and there is also an electric bike out there.
Oh,
that
awesome.
that you will win.
That's from the folks you did the interview with earlier this week.
Yeah, we're not going to put the bike on the pole, but if you ring the pole, you'll win it. Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the tasks.
All right.
Yeah, each pole $2,000.
And so they did exactly what we thought, because typically each pole is $1,000. But we were speculating that because we didn't fly yesterday, they would take yesterday's prize money and put it on top of today's prize money.
And so the first person to ring the pole gets the bike as well as the prize money. So it's the
first person to ring any pole.
To ring any pole will get the bike.
Okay.
So the first ring toss gets on the pole, gets the bike and the prize money that's on that pole. There's $2,000 on each pole. If there are multiple rings on the pole, the money will be split.
Money is split, but the first one on wins the bike.
Wins regardless. The bike plus the money.
Plus the money.
Whatever. If they're the only one there,
if you're the only one on the pole, you get a bike and $2,000.
Yeah. So that's a great deal.
Yeah.
And then we've got we've talked about this on all of our competitions. We have a hesitation waltz, which is basically a number of X's that are out there that you can throw on, and there are 5 of them. For
5?
5 X's that you can that you can pick from, so you can throw on any one of them.
Yeah.
And that will be any marker except the orange marker, because the orange marker is going to be thrown on the Gordon Bennett Memorial task. And so that's a limited scoring area. It's similar to the double drop where you have 2 triangles.
Right.
Now there's 1 triangle.
All right.
So you have to get the in the triangle measured to one of those X's.
That's right. That's one of those tasks where we were talking yesterday about how in ballooning you're so kind of ingrained to throw your marker at the center of the X. That's always usually the best score. But a Gordon Bennett Memorial task is when there is a scoring area adjacent to an X, but you don't throw at the X, you throw into a designated scoring area, and then you're measured to the X. I can remember one of my first Gordon Bennett tasks flying down in Natchez, Mississippi. They had a scoring area on the side of a levee, and yet the X was up on the top of the levee. And I can remember guys coming by and throwing and hitting the X and going, yeah. No,
wrong spot.
Wrong spot.
And just to make things even more exciting, there are actually 2 X's and triangles for the Gordon Bennett Memorial.
Okay.
So you have an option of hitting the one on the east, one on the west, and those will all be combined into one score, one competition.
Okay, now my question then would be, if there are 5 X's and only 2 of them are Gordon Bennett's, are the X's a separate task from the Gordon Bennett?
Yes, the X's are different as well, but 2 of the X's for the Gordon Bennett measurement are part of the hesitation waltz.
Boy, I'm glad you're going to be on the field calling competition because I'm lost already. I can just sit up here to watch.
Yeah. So the deal will be come in and throw a ring on the pole, drop a marker on an X for the hesitation waltz, and drop a marker in one of the triangles for the Gordon Bennett Memorial.
But you can drop on the X that is adjacent to the Gordon Bennett Memorial.
Yes, you can.
So that can be your hesitation
or a different
waltz.
One. Yes.
And then
yes,
you can have the Gordon
That's
Bennett. Or
the way
you can
I'm
drop
reading.
at a different X and then fly over and drop into one of the triangles. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly the way I read the diagrams that Henry Rosenbaum has sent us.
Okay. Hey, I was looking out to the northwest, and you can't see them now, but a few minutes ago, the flyover folks are staging out there. I could see you can just about see them if you look right over the left edge of the mountains. You might not be able to see it because of the stage lighting.
Well, we are just moments away. We're about a minute and 2 minutes away.
But there is a flight
getting ready.
That is getting ready, and they are staging out over the mountains to the northwest.
It's going to be exciting to have the military flyover with our national anthem and our balloon of the day. And right after that, as you can see, balloons are already cold inflating. So they will be ready to go hot right after that, and we'll be underway with our launch this morning here on Kids Day, brought to us by Chick-fil-A.
Also, Special Shapes Rodeo morning, so that's coming too.
It's going to be fast and furious and busy in a very slow flight morning.
Yes.
Yeah, just lots of activity.
It's getting colder too, as it always does just before sunrise. I've begun to feel the chill, especially down around my knees and my legs, because our heaters are sort of elevated up here. But we expected that too, because we heard Brad Tiemeyer tell us that, and of course, right before sunrise, the temperature always dips. I think I've already said that's the coldest moment of the day is just prior to the sunrise. So we're kind of right at that moment just now.
We are.
Here comes the flight. I can see them. If you look straight out, Art, you'll see them right over the left side of our camera here on the rooftop.
So with that said, let's go ahead and bring in our public address stage announcer, Mr. Bill Royal, to call the national anthem and our military flyover as we get Kids Day underway here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Bill?
Thank you, Art. Thank you, Glenn. Welcome to Kids Day at the 51st Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It is an absolutely beautiful morning, and we are ready to have our national anthem and the flyover. I'm sure Art mentioned this, but get your cameras ready for the full burn that happens directly after our national anthem as the flyover happens. So it's going to be something absolutely beautiful, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The Chick-fil-A balloon, the official sponsor of Kids Day, is ready to take off. Everything is in order. Are you ready for an incredible day at the Balloon Fiesta? It's going to be absolutely fantastic. There are so many great things that are going to be happening. We presented the official piggy bank to Steve Stucker for his Kids for Beds charity, and we appreciate his participation as always. And it was almost as heavy as the amount of pins that he wears. So we are ready for competitions after everything happens. And of course, fantastic vendors all the way up and down Main Street. So I draw your attention now to the Main Street stage, where to honor America and to sing our national anthem, please welcome the Albuquerque Girl Choir.
Wow.
What a way to get started here on Kids Day.
Sam Parks, you just knocked it out of the park, my friend. That was awesome. That was awesome.
All righty. So Chick-fil-A is away. Our flyover moves on to the south. Great job by the Albuquerque Girl Choir with our national anthem. Glad to get all of that on, and what a great way to get started. Now that that is underway, that means all of our other balloons can proceed with the hot portion of their inflation and get the final preparations in place to go flying.
There's Craig Kennedy now in the balloon of the day, also sponsoring Kids Day with the American flag, of course. Gosh, that was really exciting.
That was nice. That was great. Yeah, to see the helicopters and the Ospreys and C-130.
And you're right, it was definitely noisier.
Definitely a noisier set of planes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's Tristan McLean with our ExxonMobil balloon. We're going to put the camera in the balloon with him this morning as well.
Yeah, that was the Quavo balloon just inflating right there beside him. You saw in the shot a moment ago.
And of course, Tristan, one of the younger pilots here. And a younger crowd. By the way, they pointed out to me yesterday that there are a whole lot of master's degrees on that crew.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat what you said, but I got accosted in the field later in the day. But yeah, we were teasing Tristan about making his crew do all the work.
Yeah, he was off being a pilot and letting his crew do all of the hard work. So we were just having some fun, but
and they were fine. They were okay with it. They just had to make sure I knew.
Yeah, I understand.
Because they thought it was me.
Well,
thanks for blaming it on.
I always blame you. Well, it's funny. The first year my cousin was out here last year, and they saw the drone show. She posted the drone show online and said that it was her cousin Glen who had done the voiceover. No, it was Art. But sometimes people do mistake us for each other as far as voices are concerned. Somebody was saying, let's see, let me get back to it. Cynthia Shalin said, "That was so amazing. I'm watching from inside my home near the balloon park, and I can hear the planes fly over." I'm sure you could hear them. And, of course,
I heard them before I actually saw them out there.
Well, I spotted them early, so I knew they were coming. But the thing about the military helicopters especially is, their helicopters make that whoop, 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 whoop noise as they're going by. Civilian helicopters don't generally do that.
It's a definitely higher pitched sound of their rotors.
Absolutely, of their rotors. And so you can always tell when it's a military rotorcraft flying over. And when there's a group of them like that, they shake down the thunder, absolutely.
Yes, so we can hear ourselves now. So,
now.
Look at there. The green elephant still just stretched out.
Yep.
Then you've got a half a dozen balloons, the kind of white one there, and then the Rainbow Rider one farther over, the University of New Mexico balloon in the cold, in the cold inflation stage, and then a whole bunch of other Rainbow Rider balloons, including one the second one in with the KOB-4 balloon TV banner on the side of the Rainbow Rider balloon.
You could also see a little bit of the difference in size of the Rainbow Rider balloons, those ride balloons, how much larger they are than your typical sport balloons. Somebody had a great shot. They posted it on Facebook last night. We've had the Globitos back with us this year, the remote control balloons, and congratulations to them. I saw Karen Wells posted that they had, in fact, gotten the world record. Now, I don't know if that's official. She claimed that it was.
Well, like we talked, because
I don't know how quickly Guinness is going to be able to certify the record, but nevertheless,
I think we can claim that we have definitely set it. We just need to wait for the official certification. That's what I would do.
But the photograph that was so impressive was that it showed a handful of manned balloons, full-size balloons on one side, and then there was this whole field full of all of the Globitos, and it was a brilliant picture that showed you the comparison
in the sizes.
And because they weren't all convoluted. There was the regular balloons here, and then the Globitos in a group right there, so you could really see the difference in the sizes.
And they are scheduled to be back out with us this morning as well.
Yeah.
We've missed them in the rundown of everything.
Yeah,
There's just so much.
It's not like there isn't something else happening this morning. So, yeah, for Kids Day, it makes sense. We would have the Globitos out. And that's a great way for young people to get involved, even kids. By kids, I mean younger, pre-teens, I guess would be a good way to say it.
Yeah, well, you can start taking some balloon pilot lessons at a pretty early age. You can't really get into a solo or getting your license till you're 14, 16, depending on which one of those we're talking about.
Right.
So, but early teens,
or even late pre-teens, something like 10, 11 years old, can get into the RC sports
and with a little help
learn.
Of a crew, you could be even younger.
Well, yeah, sure, I suppose you could. But certainly a great way to get introduced to the sport of ballooning and get in at a very early age. Launching out of the south end of the park this morning, we've got, there's Tristan with the ExxonMobil team just about ready to go. Meanwhile, just beside him, the TLC Zia balloon is getting airborne, yellow with the red Zia. We also have Just Fun Cat, that one of my fun new balloons here this year, the white kitty cat balloon launching on the east side over near the Sid Cutter Pilot Pavilion, where later tomorrow we'll be giving out and crowning a new champion, giving out a lot of prizes to our pilots for the competition.
Someone asked me who was kind of in first place overall at this point. We don't publish those numbers. And they just kind of keep track of them.
Okay.
So far we've just keep telling you, okay, this person did this on this task. The scores on this task are this. And you'd have to kind of do your own math to keep
your
the
own
overall.
Figure. Yeah. Sorry, caught me in the middle of yawn there again.
But we'll have all those tomorrow, right after the eclipse for our pilots, and we'll record the award ceremony and then post it. We won't do it live, but we do record it and post that, so you can go back and watch the award ceremony, find out who all won, and what prizes, and all that other great stuff.
Yeah.
So we usually get that posted late Saturday afternoon. Sometimes it takes till Sunday.
Well, that's because after the award ceremony, we have a very short break, and then we have to be back for the twilight, for the Night Magic Glow. Yeah, Night Magic Glow on Saturday. So Saturday's a long day for us. And it made even longer this year.
And it's day 8.
Yeah, and it's day 8, so we're pretty well running on fumes by then. And it's also a little extra busy tomorrow because we'll have the eclipse happening. Now, are we doing a show during the glow? Did we ever decide that?
We are not. Glow? We are not doing a show during the glow.
Okay.
Or the eclipse. NASA will be broadcasting their show live from here.
Oh.
And so
you can watch
on
that
their
on NASA
streams.
TV?
Yeah. So we suggest you watch NASA for the eclipse. They'll have all the experts and folks like that, so you can tune over to their feeds and their shows. And like I said, we'll be quickly moving over to the other. That would have been like a 16-hour on-air day for us if we had done that as well. So we're leaving NASA to be able to pick that one up for us.
Okay, well that'll be fun. There is the Swire Coca-Cola balloon. Earlier this week was Coca-Cola Day, and you and I have been enjoying some Coke Zeros throughout the week. Probably from your private stash, I've been stealing. My apologies. Sorry.
It's a Balloon Fiesta Live stash.
Okay. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
So we've watched a couple of balloons just get a few hundred feet off the ground and just kind of scoot to the south.
Yeah,
but then I'm looking over to the east and I see Chick-fil-A, Coca-Cola's kind of not going anywhere, the Zia balloon with TLC, your Just Fun Cat. Yeah. They're just kind of hanging right there. But and then if you look over to the other side of the field, the yellow one with the blue darts and the red and green, red on the top, green on the bottom, that one's kind of just moving along to the south. So
yeah, he's got
there are different layers up there.
He's got a definite southern movement, while the others that are here on the west side of the east side, I keep getting confused about that, the east side of the field, really not getting a lot of movement. Well, TLC now is beginning to move to the south, so that layer looks to be just a couple of 100 feet up, maybe about 300 feet up, and that's kind of where Brad Tumar told us we would probably see it.
Yep.
So I think if Coca-Cola climbs a little bit, Chick-fil-A, Just One Cat is just now beginning to catch that southern movement. So
as is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So the layer's there. You just got to get up into it.
And you know the guys that are flying competition today are paying very close attention to what really is up there. While we send those pie balls up and Brad T-Meyer reports on them, and he had done that 20 minutes, that still was 20 minutes before 6 that they did that.
Right.
Or close to 6, and now it's an hour later.
There's a wave of the cowboy hat from Tristan as the Exxon Mobil team gets airborne.
Using the turning vent to make sure that we see the logo. And here's the view from the balloon looking back down on the field. And you can see that we do this kind of wave. We kind of get started both at the south end and at the middle of the pack as well.
There's a look over to the Gondola Club.
Yep. And then
we're
coming right around towards us.
There's the Exxon tent.
There we are. There we
studio.
are. Yep, that little blue spotch that just went around. That was
our backdrop. And now thought he was going to come back around to us, but not quite.
He's spinning the balloon. He's got the turning vent in
okay.
full operation
so
here.
It was the turning vent that brought the camera around, not the camera.
Yeah, that brought it around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool Beans has gotten airborne over to my left. The red, green, and blue and yellow spiral balloon with the little bean caricatures around the bottom
that you thought were pickles.
One of these days I'm trying to let that slide by without bringing it up, but
you almost did there.
Well, I thought I'd made it. I was about to say pickles, and I said no, I'm not going to do that. And then you tossed in there, so yeah. Well, I still say the green one looks like a pickle. So
yeah, and it does. There's Pinnacle Propane, one of the balloons that. For the company that provides the 100,000 gallons of propane that we will probably use, maybe even more than that this year because we've flown every single event except yesterday's.
There goes the Krispy Kreme balloon, orange, red, and yellow. That is our former executive director, Mr. Paul Smith.
Look at that shot of all the Rainbow Rider balloons lined up, coming from our balloon cam and the Exxon Mobil balloon.
Paul is as we said, the retired executive director of Balloon Fiesta.
And there it is.
Now.
Almost looks like he's on the ground in that shot. It just kind of went off the top of the screen.
Yep.
But he is definitely
that's sponsor hospitality. They were just looking down. There's the Krispy Kreme balloon on the screen now.
They got a new banner for that.
They do have a new banner. That had us confused earlier this week. But again, Paul Smith flying that. Our chief, we've been jokingly referring to him as our chief rookie since for so many years. 20 plus, he was the executive director of the event and obviously was not able to fly, and now he's getting back to the sky. He's been having a good week. He's been scoring in the competition, so we'll be curious to see how he does. I guess he's not flying in the competition this morning, or he wouldn't be launching now.
Oh, look,
there they are.
Straight down on us.
That's right on top of our head. There is the rooftop studio, and you can see the red, yellow, and blue, all those they almost look like little flowers there on the ground. Those are the tables down at Sponsor
Right
Hospitality.
in front of us, yeah.
Right in front of us.
There is definitely some different directions up there.
Yeah, look at the that Zia balloon up high is moving to the east, while the Pinnacle balloon is still coming south. The lower ones in this group, the red-green balloon, also coming south. Behind him, the UNM balloon,
and a little bit of southwest. Even closer to the field, to the ground.
Closer to the ground, yeah.
Closer to the ground, yeah.
Well, that's what we saw the Dawn Patrol team take advantage of. Is they went out. They went off to the west.
To the southwest low. You get up high and you kind of stop and move a little bit south. Then you go up higher yet and you go east.
You go east, yeah. Yeah, because way over here to our right, see, there's the green, yellow, and red balloon with those blue banana gores that took off from the west side of the field. And he's all the way over, almost probably up over I-25 now to the east.
Yeah, not a lot of great landing sites in that direction.
No.
If you go south and to the west, that's where they are. If you get too much east, you start losing some of the spots. That's the density of the housing is just really packed in there up against the base of the mountain.
There used to be a strip along.
There's our shapes coming from above.
Yeah, there's Vampirella and Beelzebub launching side by side there. There's Arabelle the cow.
The little princess. Yeah, the little princess in there.
You see the Xfinity balloon cold inflating. Sean Askren down there. There's
Sunny Boy
and Smokey Bear. So we're going to see a lot of the shapes this morning since it is Shapes Rodeo Day. Cynthia Seal is here on the front row with us, as is Barry Ballinger in the Capital Bank balloon. The Plains Capital Bank with the two Tatanka There's the Xfinity Rewards balloon, cold inflating, Sean Askren. Just next to him is the balloon. We've been referring to it as a Montgolfier replica, which it is, but it's a special shape called First in Flight. It's a replica of the first Montgolfier balloon, the very first hot air balloon, with the very first passengers on it, a rooster, a duck, and a sheep. I think that's the balloon, but it's just a different paint color scheme. Because I think the black and pink is on the other side from what you're seeing there.
You think that's the same one?
Yep, I think it is, because it's a three-sided.
It's three-sided face called Carnival.
And the picture you had, see, that's this side. That's the right side that we're looking at.
Yeah.
If you go around to the left, you get the bluer side, and if you come all the way around, you get the black side.
I think you're right. That would be Carnival that we keep looking at there with the three-sided
Three
face.
different clown faces, I guess, on the side.
That's what I was trying to just kind of double check, because one of the things that when I tell people about how we use the spotting app to be able to pull things together, and we have to type in something that allows us to do that, and everybody says, well, why don't you just hold the camera up and get your phone or your iPad to do all the AI stuff and identify it? And I point out to him, I said, that really works if we had a 360-degree picture of the balloon.
Right.
Because they do look different from different angles.
Yes.
And we've talked about so many of the balloons that look that way.
Well, Coco the Clown, a long-time special shape here, is a happy clown on one side, a sand cloud on the other.
So depending on which angle you're
looking
looking at,
it might or might not detect the correct ID for the balloon.
Right.
There goes Cynthia Seal, by the way, climbing into the sky now. Always
Pat Rolfe flies that.
Yep, fun to see the blue eyes with the two balloons reflecting in it. Yesterday morning, we saw Pencil Boy that has the reflection of a mass ascension in their sunglasses. And there's Stryker, the soccer ball character with the headphones. The Plains Capital Bank now, the Tatanka balloon, as I like to call it. The balloon team wears their t-shirts called We Fly in the Buff. There's our two camping and glamping.
The white tents are glamping. The glamorous tents
are Camp 505. Is that what they call it now?
Yep. So they're little pup tents, two-person tents.
Yep.
And the deal with those is we'll set them up right before you get here, and then when you leave, you pack it up and take it with you.
Yep. You have to stay a minimum of 3 nights.
And that's the same in both. Yes.
But you get to take home, out of Camp 505, you get to take home the little blue two-person pup tent.
Yeah, that's a new area for us as camping becomes more popular.
And then the white tents are glamping.
The luxury
tents, where if you do any traveling at all, glamping has become pretty popular all around the world. Where it's a luxury tent. There's bedding, and usually there's a wooden floor platform, and there can be rugs, and there's heating and all that sort of stuff. Maybe even a TV. I don't know, but glamping is.
And that's been very popular. We were on the forefront of doing that as well. Yeah, those are the ball fields just south of the Balloon Museum, which is basically on Balloon Fiesta. Well, it's all part of Balloon Fiesta Park because it goes all the way down there, but just south of the launch field.
Okay.
That we're looking at from. What a shot of all the balloons in the sky and a whole lot more of them getting ready to launch. The white line down the right-hand side is concession row, and the white line of tents at the bottom is our hospitality area where companies can rent a tent for a session or for all 14 sessions if you'd like. So another one of the fine sponsor opportunities that you can partake of and not only entertain your customers and your employees.
See, now there on the screen
there's
is
the side
view
with the hat.
of the photo that we have of Carnival,
exactly.
and then you can see just a little bit of the black and pink side that we were seeing on the launch field.
Yeah, that's almost exactly the shot we have. Yeah, with the little hat there. That was that's what I was seeing. I see the hat prominently in our picture, but from this side you don't see the little hat.
You don't see the little red hat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, but Vampirello would.
Yeah, Vampirello is right on top of the little red hat, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
So now that direction to the southwest appears to be changing to the west. Look at Carnival now moving across the field.
Yeah, west.
As is,
a little northwest.
Even a little north.
Yeah, a little northwest. We might end up getting out to Corrales again today.
If you stay low, because if you go high, it's definitely going southeast.
It is indeed, yeah. But if you stay low, it looks like you might be able to make it out to the river in Corrales today. If that layer stays there once the sun comes up.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
So already different changing conditions, which for the competitors means it's now a.
It's like,
did we pick the right launch site?
Now which way do we go? But they've still got some time to figure out where to launch from, so they'll continue to watch what happens with the balloons.
40 minutes or so from launch, and that takes you about 10 to 15, maybe 20.
Yeah.
So you got a few more minutes to figure out where you're going to go. Not that you have to launch right at 8 o'clock, but if you want to be the person who wins the electric bike, you got to be the first person to ring a pole today.
That's right. All right, I'm going to let you carry on for a minute, and I'll join you back here in a few minutes.
Alrighty. So we are here at Kids Day, Special Shapes Rodeo Day. We've got all of our special shapes being inflated. We've got half of our regular shaped balloons being inflated on the field. The other half of our regular shaped balloons, as we've been talking, have left the field to find a launch site at least 1 mile away so that they can fly back into the field and partake in 3 different tasks that we have on the field for competition today. There will be 5 poles out there that our pilots will attempt to put a 12 or 14-inch ring over the top of that pole. First one that does that gets not only the money that's on the pole, but will win an electric bike. And everybody that gets a ring on the pole will share in the $2,000 cash prize on each pole. If you're the only one on the pole, then you get the $2,000. If there are 2 of you on there, then you each get $1,000. After you've thrown your ring on the pole, then there are 5 X's out there. 3 of them are just X's all by themselves. The other 2 X's are playing double duty in that they are connected to a limited scoring area or a big triangle that will be outlined on the field. We call that the Gordon Bennett Memorial. So you would want to throw your marker within the triangle as close to the X as possible, but again, still within the triangle. So 3 things that a pilot would throw out of the basket as they come across the field. 1, the ring over the pole, a baggie on an X, and a baggie in the triangle for the Gordon Bennett. So it's going to be some really great competition. Nice and slow, but changing directions. So pilots are going to have to be doing a whole lot of navigating to make all of that come together. So this is Striker, the soccer ball that Glenn mentioned just a moment ago. We're seeing the backside of the soccer ball. If he were to rotate, we would see the sunglasses. You do see the headphones on there. And so just one of our shapes. Some of our shapes will stay standing up on the field. Others, can we put the overhead shot on the live again? Yeah, we'll get another shot of the field here. Oh, it's from the, I see, yeah. So we need to see the overhead shot again. The assistant balloon meister is asking to get a shot of what the field, they want to know how much of the field is clear and how much is not. We'll get that for you. There's a shot of Spiker's sunglasses as we get the other angle. I see the red and green balloon from the red and green chili balloon. There's your shot. We're gotten a little bit farther away, but there's your overhead shot. Still a number of balloons standing up. We've got a little bit more clearing to go before we can start getting our flagging up for the competition. Right in front of me, the Wicked balloon is standing up. I see the Blazer, not 55-gallon drum, but that is the large size of the 55-gallon drum. Well, there's New Mexico True Balloon, the sugar skull we see up in the top of the picture. Truly New Mexico. Bill Lee flies that. They sponsored Flight of Nations on Wednesday. Thanks to New Mexico True for that. Still launching some Rainbow Riders balloons, those people that are getting a paid ride this morning. They were in the middle of the field. They put about 400 people in a balloon every time we fly, in all of their balloons, I should say. We don't get all 401. Coming up out of the center of our live picture, there was Air Rocky Top with Mark Yoakum. There's a great shot of the Carnival and Striker with our other regular balloons. Beelzebub down in the lower right. the little racer balloon with the, it's the kind of multi-shades of blue, but the zigzag of the red. That's one of the chain gang balloons brought to us by the Brights. And there's Wicked. See AARP in the back, and there's that Blaser oil drum. Blaser being a Swiss lubrication company and one of the big partners in our Gordon Bennett that we hosted here. Gas balloons, 17 gas balloons entered, 16 launched out of here Saturday night, and the winners landed all the way over on the far east coast in the Carolinas after flying all across the southern part of the country. Great race, great event, the 66th Gordon Bennett. Their awards presentation is also tomorrow night, and you can check out all the distances and all the flight tracks and those types of things on balloonfiesta.com. So Tristan, we've been showing you the pictures from our balloon camp. Tristan McLean, the pilot of the ExxonMobil balloon. Hey Tristan, good morning. How's the view up there? I was saying, how's the view?
It's gorgeous. We have lots and lots of... It's doing great up here. Everything is looking fantastic. The view is beautiful. There's lots of special shapes taking off, and it's going to be a beautiful morning.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your crew and how important it is to get young folks involved in the sport.
Absolutely. I'm going to burn real quick. We have an amazing crew that our average age falls between about 25 to 35. And it's really important for us to continue getting young folks into this sport because we really want it to continue and be building. And as we bring young folks in, it's teaching them about the safety behind ballooning and really the fun that we can have while still being safe and flying balloons.
And I was just going to tell you, you just go ahead and burn whatever you need to burn because you need to be flying the balloon first. So are any of your crew looking forward to getting
Absolutely.
a pilot's license?
Yes, we actually have 2 crew members that are currently student pilots. One who is pretty close, he's about to take his written test, and we're really just excited, and with a commercial license, I have the ability to go fly with my crew, and I always encourage them to go fly with other pilots as well to get as much experience as they can throughout the different times of the year and throughout the different opportunities we have to fly throughout the country. It's important to know all the different types of flying we have.
Yeah, sounds great. So how did you get involved in ballooning?
Absolutely. So I have a family history with ballooning. I flew back when I was about 6 and 8 years old with an extended family member, and I just fell in love with it. And at that point, I found a way to get a loan when I was about 18 years old. And from there, I found a pilot whose name was Brad Rice, and he offered to instruct me, and I offered to help him fly when he needed to fly, so I was still crewing while I was getting my pilot's license. And throughout that, it was an affordable way. I found an affordable used balloon that I could do, and from there, I got my pilot's license and have just been continuing to grow experience and learn throughout the different aspects of the country of flying. I've gotten to fly in just about 5 different states at this point, and I'm looking to continue to grow that.
Sounds great. So thanks to your crew, and thanks for you to providing all of our balloon camera flights this past week here. Have a great, safe flight. We're going to get on to competition here shortly on the field. Yeah, getting a lot of heat in the balloon there. You know, when you get talking away, you know, you kind of get away from getting heat in, and you got to keep that certain level of heat in the balloon to keep the balloon flying, and especially today, just because you've got all these directions and all these balloons, you definitely have to be paying attention.
And you've got other traffic around you, and as we all know, the first rule of flying balloons is fly the balloon,
fly the balloon, fly the balloon.
Hey, yesterday we were talking about we have Blaser here with us with 4 different balloons. There is their drum that we talked about yesterday. I said 55-gallon drum, which is what they are here in the United States. We were questioning, you know, what they actually might hold because they measure in liters over in Europe. And someone has chimed in. Barbara Stocco says, per Google, a barrel holds 159 liters. So thank you for that
Or we could put it in balloon terms. That's 77,000 cubic feet of air.
There you go.
Yeah, does that translate otherwise? Hey, we are just about 30 minutes away from the scheduled start of our competition, which means as the balloons leave the center of the field, it's time for the spectators to start moving off the center of the field as well. So if you are standing out there in the center and the balloon has left, please move to the southeast, north, or west. And actually the west and east are going to be your better shots, so the balloons could conceivably land from the north or south. Although, depending on what's happening in the wind today, they could be landing at the other side as well.
The east will be probably the more exciting for one. If you're taking photographs, you'll have the sun at your back, which always gives you the best light.
And you'll be underneath all the shapes.
You'll be under all the shapes, many of which will inflate and stay static over on the east side. I see Sushi over there, the little fish balloon. Beagle Maximus is already standing up. The big beagle, the big dog balloon, which gives me time to do my daily shout out to my friends Michael and Georgie and their lovely dog Tilly over in the UK. I'm a cat person, but I'm absolutely falling in love with Tilly. They're texting me pictures every day of Tilly watching us. And she said that, you know, that Tilly watches and enjoys the show, but she barks sometimes at the balloons that she disapproves of.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's a critic.
So, but yeah, I'm absolutely falling in love with Tilly. She's a beautiful little puppy.
There's the KKOB balloon, now 96.3 FM. They originally started at 770 AM. They're actually simulcasting on both frequencies now.
Right.
Ron Curry has flown the KKOB balloon for many, 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 many years. I'm thinking that's the third KKOB envelope, if I remember correctly.
Could well be.
Maybe
Yeah.
even the fourth. We've been flying that KKOB balloon for a very long time. Of course, it was their birthday party, their 50th birthday party, that got balloons to come together.
And they were just KOB at that time.
Yeah.
That was before the FCC instigated the rule where broadcast stations to the west of the Mississippi begin with a K and those to the east begin with a W. There are a few exceptions, one of which I worked at, WOAI in San Antonio, Texas, but in most cases. And so that's why KOB now has an extra K on it, so it's KKOB.
Also part of it was the radio television of KOB Radio, KOB TV.
Yeah.
And when the companies split, that was also part of the timing to move an extra K onto the
well,
radio station.
Exactly. And again, at one time it was WOAI Radio and TV, and then when they split, it became KMOL TV and WOAI Radio. Hey, not all of the shapes are going to remain static. Some are flying this morning. There is Doug Gant in Wind and Pigs Fly, otherwise known as Hamlet. Here comes Lindy from Lindstrand Balloons. We've talked about the manufacturers being here with us, several of them. That is their corporate spokesperson balloon, the Lindy balloon, the red, yellow, and blue special shape with the sunglasses and the arms on him. Pico from St. Jean-sur-Richelieu is here. That's the blue caricature, blue with the black polka dots, the big carrot nose and eyes. Smokey Bear is in the sky. And Pico, not to be confused with the brand new special shape, Pico, which is Pico the Peacock, that was brought to us, just literally debuted here yesterday, having just flown in from the UK with Andrew Holly, part of the Sky Safari team from Longleat. They are all here. Many of them are. We've got the panther, the cheetah, the penguin family, et cetera, et cetera.
And there's Sushi.
Yep,
Katie
just talked
Griggs.
about her a minute ago. Katie Griggs, right by Sunny Boy and Mr. Winter, two of the Seasons balloon team. There's that pink thing you see in the sky there. See, there's the black and white balloon that's using the turning vents, half black, half white on either side. But that's the pink unicorn that is standing there just beside them.
I think that one's Alicorn.
Alicorn, okay.
If I remember my balloon names correctly.
Well, and see, you get the benefit of, you build the spotter app, so you see these pictures long before I do, and all the names. Now it's a question of which one of us can scroll to it the quickest, I suppose. It's a race.
Alicorn has flown in Colorado Springs, where I am the announcer as well.
Yes.
That's the other reason I kind of remember those. You know, when there's 80 balloons, it's pretty easy to grab all of them and get them in their head. Yeah, it is Alicorn. Toby Brown out of Denver, Colorado, with the pink unicorn. Did you mention the Beagle Maximus?
I did. Yep, Beagle Maximus. Talked about them a few minutes ago. There comes
the grandfather clock.
Yep, that's a new shape here, the grandfather clock. I think it's called Cuckoo.
Yep.
And so it is a new shape that's here. there comes one of several frog balloons that's here. Did we decide? This one is the one that's been, this is the little jumping frog.
Right. That is Kermie.
Kermie, but he kind of had us confused because they've had a top rebuild on the balloon. You can see how the top of the balloon is a darker green fabric.
He went in for a makeover.
Yeah, that or had a frontal lobotomy.
That's not quite the front.
Well, you know, but maybe
little
that's
little tuck in shape going on.
Yeah,
on the
tummy
backside.
tuck maybe. You know. Anyway, it confused us for a moment because it does have darker green fabric on the top than what the photograph that we have in our spotter app is. But then we realized they had just done a top third, like a top third rebuild on it, which the balloon was built, I think we said in 2014,
yes.
so it's almost 10 years old. So time to replace some of that fabric.
Have a little body work done. Snowman is up.
That's Mr. Winter, officially. And,
yes, but it's a snowman.
It is a snowman. I'll grant you that. I'm not arguing the fact. I'm just mentioning that is Mr. Winter.
Folks are trying hard to get that northwest direction.
They are. Well, there's great landing sites out there, as you well know.
Yeah.
And out in Corrales and Rio Rancho, great landing sites. And so that's kind of a preferred direction if you can get it. And as we saw earlier, you're going to have to remain a little low to get there.
But off to the southwest isn't too bad either. And kind of coming over the southwest part of the field, right over the Gondola Club. In fact, there's Tiamo, the big red heart with the white hands, making yet another heart shape. Tammy Schrum flies Tiamo.
Just over in front of the manufacturer tents here in the southeast corner is the balloon called Party. This is Cheryl Party. Yeah, that is Cheryl Reichert out of El Cajon, California. Her second year. Had a chance to have a very nice chat with Cheryl just a couple of years ago. It was about a year or so ago. That balloon was brand new.
I remember.
Yeah, 2021, and it made the cover of Ballooning Magazine. And she was really excited about that. We were excited to include the balloon on our cover. As you can see, it is a party balloon with lots of party balloons all around it. And on one side is the typical, what we're seeing now, is the star-shaped balloon. You know, you can go into your local supermarkets and buy those. There's some folks having a good balloon ride.
Well, that's up with Tristan. Looking back, we can see the field in the distance and over the, looks like maybe over the big eye.
The passengers just realized they were on camera just as we cut away, which may have been a good thing. The other side of Cheryl's balloon will be a balloon. You'll see it says Happy Birthday. So,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Anyway.
And you know, with this many people out here, there's probably 300 people that have a birthday today.
See, there's a great selfie being taken on camera. Yep. You're on Balloon Fiesta Live having your selfie taken. How about that?
There you go. What a great selfie.
Not everybody can say that.
Yeah.
There goes Beagle Maximus into the
50,
sky.
50,000 people got to see your selfie.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, good to see Cheryl here this morning with her balloon Party. The sloth has just come upright. And we'll be launching, maybe. We'll see if they decide to fly or if they're staying on the ground. There goes Taz. I can see the backside, but I know it's him because I see that big wide mouth.
Oh, right, yep.
That it has. With all
well, there he is on the screen. He's right above Milky Way. There's
there
a side shot of him.
Yep, there's Taz, and there's the VW bus.
And the backside of Beagle.
And the backside of,
I don't know if the bus has been sold yet or not. Remember earlier in the week I told you it was for sale.
Yeah, we were talking about it's for sale, but of course we haven't always gotten the details on whether or not the sale has happened yet or not.
Time to remind you again, those of you on the field here, we want to start clearing the field for competition. So if you are in the center of the field, we'd like you to move, especially if the balloon that was on the square you're standing, if you would start moving away from the center. In fact, I do see at least one of the poles has already been set up out there. Now, competition doesn't start till 8 o'clock, but it takes us a few minutes to set up 5 poles, 5 X's, and 2 limited scoring triangle areas, plus get the flagging up so that we can get the competitors in here, and they'll be ready to come in just about 20 minutes. So please move from the center of the field, move out to the sides, get yourself outside the double flagging area. There is one set of flags that is the actual scoring area, then there is a wider set of flags that is the entire competition area. And we need you outside both sets of those flags.
Right.
So
there'll be scoring officials out there beginning. I do see the poles getting set up, so there are scoring officials out there. They'll be asking you to move aside, so please cooperate with them so that we can get the field set for the competition as quickly as we can. And again, the best views are going to be over on the east side, plus you're close to Main Street where all the food and the drink and the shopping is, and any shapes that don't fly will stay static along Main Street there. So that's really going to be the place to gather this morning.
But Sonny Boy is in the air. Kirby is in the air.
Yep, and Sloth is still standing tall. There is, is it Happy Corn? Was that the unicorn? Alicorn
is the pink unicorn.
The VW bus is taken off. That is the flying bus. Rubens Kalausdian from Sao Paulo is the pilot.
There's the back end of Kirby on the screen.
The behind side.
We've been getting a lot of backside views of these shapes this
For some reason, that seems to be the case. I'm not sure why. I hope it's not a reflection on our commentating.
They're probably trying to get into the whole space thing. You know, they're mooning us in honor of the eclipse that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, that's your story. I'd stick to it. There is the balloon's seabed, which is brand new here this year. That is Doug and Patty Grimes' new balloon, Discover Balloons, and it has the literally a seabed image printed all around the balloon. And then on the top there is a three-dimensional turtle and I almost said flipper, a three-dimensional porpoise or dolphin and a turtle. And we've been jockeying around with names, etc. Before you do that, real quick, I just want to give, there's the World Balloon.
The Enchanted
World. That was brand new last year, commissioned by Jewel Cutter in honor of her late husband, Sid, our founder, and flown last year as part of the commemoration of the original Balloon Fiesta with 13 pilots. There is Seascape, as we were talking about, Seabed, we were talking about earlier. You see all the imagery was digital imagery that was printed to white fabric. It's a new technology we have in the sport and relatively new. And then there's the three-dimensional turtle and the dolphin on the other side. And if we can grab the Union Jack balloon that's in the center of the field here, if our crack camera team can get me a shot of that, I wanted to do a quick shout out to from my friend Peter George, who is flying that particular Union Jack balloon. I guess we're not going to get it with a camera. Okay.
But Milky Way is taking off.
Milky Way is taking off.
And we now have the round balloon of Creamland. There's your balloon.
There's Peter George. I just want to give a quick shout out because his father, Michael, took a fall in their garden back in July in the summer and broke his leg. He is recovering well. One thing we haven't talked about is that we select an ambassador pilot of the day as a part of pilot briefing. And early this week, Peter George was chosen as one of the ambassador pilots, I think on Monday. So Peter's a good friend. In fact, we traded pins earlier this week, and when I posted my pin online, he was one of the first that got to me and said, "Swapsies?" I love that term.
There you go.
So good morning, Peter, and I hope, Michael, I hope you're doing well and recovering back in the UK. All our best wishes.
Speaking of exchanging things, it's time to exchange your information for a Balloon Fiesta Live license plate.
Yes.
So the deal here is this is a pattern of license plates that was used officially in New Mexico not too long ago with the big balloon on it, etc. And we have made replicas of that license plate with Balloon Fiesta Live on it. Our logo down here in the corner where the expiration sticker would be. And you may win one of these. My tongue's kind of getting in the way of the eye teeth, and I can't see what I'm saying.
Been a long week.
So you can be a winner of one of these. Now, chances we're starting to run down. We don't have too many opportunities to give these away.
We're doing 3 every session, but the number of sessions is slowly
starting
dwindling.
to wane. That's exactly right. So how do you get in the contest? You go to the QR code that we have just put on the screen. You can see it on the video wall or on your screen if you're watching at home. Scan the QR code. We'll ask you for some contact information, give you an opportunity to comment on a few things about Balloon Fiesta Live, which we appreciate those comments.
Be kind.
Yeah, if you can't see the QR code, can't get to it, can't make it scan or any of those types of things, just go to balloonfiesta.com, balloonfiesta.com. Under this year's event, you'll be able to find the Balloon Fiesta Live webpage. and there is a link to the entry form there as well. So balloonfiesta.com and the Balloon Fiesta Live page if you didn't find the QR code. And Friday morning's winners are Trudy Davis from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, Lene Arnold from Sandia Park, New Mexico, and New Mexico had a clean sweep this time because the third winner was Hunda Simpson from Hobbs, New Mexico.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations all. And again, remember, if you have not registered yet, you can still register today to be in for the drawings at each of the remaining sessions here at Balloon Fiesta. And you need to only register once. Please don't try to stuff the ballot box because we throw out those extra entries anyway.
I will be contacting all of the winners after Balloon Fiesta to make arrangements to get the license plate to you. Whether I have to mail it or make it available for you to pick up in town here, we'll take care of that after Balloon Fiesta. Continue to watch balloons and inflate, and what a great view of the sky from our balloon cam with ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
They're south of the field, and look at, a wall of color in the sky.
And those were light poles, by the way. Those were not the competition poles that you saw in that shot.
Yeah.
There's our green elephant, brand new special shape. Again, the backside, as you said, we're getting a lot of that. There is Bucky Beaver up in that shot, as you can see as well.
Down low, there's Rocket the Squirrel.
Rocket the Squirrel.
The barn is taking off in the middle. The Convict is off to the right with the Keystone.
The Keystone Cop right beside him, and then there's a part of the upside down Humpty Dumpty that you can see in that shot.
Little Dog is above them.
Oh, yep, I see that.
Yeah, and then of course we move over, and there's the bus, and as you said, Buddy Beaver, we keep going the other side. Look, they're turning the green
elephant. The elephant around for us. Thank
Heard
you
us
for
talk
that.
about the punch shots we
There's
were
the Milky Way and the barns. We got a lot of cows in that shot.
Yeah, and Evo the monster.
Yep, and there's Taz up there in the upper right, the Tasmanian Devil, of course.
And then that's Tom Caius in his Dream On balloon that was just starting to launch into the picture.
Down on the field, the Bees have just launched. They are all three here together, the whole family, and they're always a crowd favorite. Just next to them is the Black Lion. There's a shot of Tall Steve on our feed. Tall Steve, part of the Sky Safari team that is here. The Black Lion, I couldn't find them in our spotting chart. They've been here before, I know.
They usually just call it Lion.
Lion?
That's what they've been calling it.
All right.
Yeah, they played with a bunch of other names, but lately every time I've seen them anywhere, it's just
Lion.
the Lion.
Okay. Bandit is getting airborne. That is the raccoon balloon, which always reminds me of my cat Ranger, Bingo, because he's a gray Maine Coon. Well, actually, he's a Maine Coon Siberian mix. I did a DNA test on Ranger to find out, and he's almost 50-50 Maine Coon and Siberian. So, for what that's worth.
So you can see that we are now starting to get the scoring area cleared.
Yep.
Thanks for helping us with that.
We see the
polls. Yep. And that means it's time for me to get off this roof here and down into the competition area.
Finally.
Okay. Just remember.
I'm just getting back at you for earlier this morning.
Yeah. So. Okay. I'll join you from the field here shortly.
All right, sir. Well, have a good time down there. Get down there with our camera team. Art will be right at the targets to bring you all the action once we start the competition. We have 5 poles up. If you look closely, you can count them. I can see all 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There'll be 5 X's out there. There's going to be a Gordon Bennett task. We'll get into more of that once Art is in position down on the field. Again, if you're in the center of the field, and there are a lot of you down there, we are going to be asking you to move to either the east, west, north, or south boundaries of the field, clearing out the center so that we can have that scoring area. It needs to be sterile. There needs to be only race officials in there. So if you're being asked by scoring officials, race officials to move, please do so. If you're not being asked to move, well, consider I'm asking. And again, your best probably viewing point would be to move over to the east, though it's going to be quite crowded over there. I would point out that we do have some brand new bleachers over by the pilot briefing tower on the west side of the field. So if you don't mind maybe looking into the sun a bit, that might be a nice place to sit. The south end of the field here where I am on the rooftop studio, we generally try to keep that area clear of spectators because on a typical competition day with the right winds, a lot of the balloons will come and land here in the south end after the competition. That doesn't mean you're not welcome down on the south end. Love to have you join me alongside the VIP hospitality area and our corporate village. But just be aware that if you are in this area, that part of the field, the southern end, there may be some balloon activity later on as the competitors come in and try to land. So we need to get the field set for competition. Our thermal airship is now in the sky. The thermal airship is, you see it off to the northwest corner of the field. Some people might look at it and go, oh, look, there's a blimp. No, it's not a blimp. A blimp is a similarly shaped aircraft, but it is filled with gas, typically helium, in the older days hydrogen, think the Hindenburg, etc. Nowadays, most of them are filled with helium. This, though, is a thermal airship, and so it's filled with hot air, just like a balloon. It gets its lift from the envelope that's full of air and is heated with a propane burner, just like a hot air balloon. But then on the gondola, instead of a basket, there is a gondola that the two passengers ride in, pilot and passenger. And behind the gondola, there is a pusher propeller, and that provides forward movement. And then the vertical rudder of that aircraft is movable, so it is steerable, and that allows the pilot to direct the flight, unlike a balloon where your only steerage is going up or down. In this case, you can steer it. So the thermal airship is in the sky. The bees have taken flight, all three of them. Joelle, the little baby bee, separating from mom and dad, and that'll be Michael Glen, our wheelchair pilot, of course, in Joelle. You can see the difference in the type of basket that's underneath that balloon versus the other two bees. Our Royal Guardsman air balloon has gotten airborne as well. I was watching, oh, yep, there goes Monty, the black sheep. I was watching it inflate a few moments ago. He's just up over the southeast corner of the main entry here, just to the east of our location, right up over the manufacturer tents. That is Monty the black sheep, and Greg Ashton is the pilot. They are from Meridian, Idaho, flying here for the 10th year. That's a crowd favorite, has become one in the past few years that they've been here with us. Peg Leg Pete is standing tall. That is Dave and Kathy Reineke's balloon. Congratulations again to Kathy. Earlier this week, last Sunday, she was recipient of the Balloon Federation of America's Ed Yost Master Pilot Award for 40 years of safe flying. So our congratulations to Kathy. Let's see. Down there, oh, there is, I got to get down here so I can get the name right. Because I'm never able to do that for Lee Hooper, who is flying our Alien balloon. But let me see how we have him listed in the program. That is, okay, he's listed as Astro the Alien. Lee Hooper here from Radstock, Somerset in the UK. And that is the tall green Alien. And that is a balloon built by Diamond Balloons, ladies and gentlemen. Diamond Balloons is the world's newest certified balloon manufacturer. They are in the UK, and they have UK certification. They've not yet achieved certification in the United States, but they're working on that. And so the balloon also has a much longer name, and I forget it every time. Lee, I'm going to have it tattooed on my wrist or something, but it's like his Holy Benevolence, the leader, or something or other like that. But officially the name is Astro the Alien. So he's in that group, along with the Owl Professor. And just coming up right now is Humpty Dumpty. That would be Rich Lawhorn's balloon. Also coming up here on our end of the field is our Roadrunner balloon with the purple head and the orange, I guess, are those, do birds have jowls? I don't know. Big, yeah. That is, that's actually called Speedy. Speedy is Earl Buzzard, who is here for the 32nd year. The shape is not that old. It's a fairly new shape. And, of course, a kind of a shout out to all of our friends over with the Chuck Jones Creative Center. And they are from Albuquerque, New Mexico, the balloon Speedy. And let's see, some of the other balloons, special shapes that are here. The Sheriff is here. That's the armadillo balloon with the 6 guns, the cowboy hat on. further down the field. There is Pico, the new, brand new special shape, literally the newest balloon at Balloon Fiesta that I know of. It was just completed, flight tested, and certified over in the UK earlier this week. Then it was express shipped across the ocean into Phoenix. Our friend Andrew Holly made a midnight run to Phoenix, left Tuesday, drove to Phoenix, got the balloon, made it back, was on the field at 3:30 yesterday morning with the brand new Pico the Peacock balloon, a baby peacock balloon. The design of the balloon and all was actually inspired by our friend, the photographer Benny Voss. And so Pico the Peacock is with us. That is, again, Andrew Holly, who's here from the United Kingdom, here for his 13th year. Andrew brings us the entire Sky Safari fleet from Longleat, the wildlife park over in the UK. Shout out to my friends, as I said, Mike and Georgie earlier, and their dog Tilly, and Steve Kai, who's watching over in Wales, and Lorna, and to Tom and Louise, and all of my friends that are all part of the exclusive ballooning team over in the UK. We have most of the fleet here. I see the backside of Cymbaloo, the signature lion for Longleat. The panther is here, Wes the wolf is here, Adelaide the koala bear is here, the cheetah Duma is with us. In fact, there comes the koala just coming upright, I believe. Nope, that's a bear. My bad. But anyway, all of those shapes are here, and Pico the Peacock is the newest one to join. There's the cheetah up high. That is Duma, the cheetah. Oh, there's the koala. It's right there next to the pumpkin and Stiggy. The dinosaur, the koala bear, and the pumpkin are all three side by side. The jack-o'-lantern, if you prefer, all three side by side there. There's the big hug. That is the golden bear and the big sky blue elephant giving each other a nice hug. And goodness knows there are days when we all need a nice hug. We have Wes the wolf is in the sky. That's part of the Sky Safari fleet. So they are airborne. All right, we'll do that in just a second. There is the Princess Nellie, used to be the balloon Nellie B, the elephant, now pink, wearing a tiara. That would be Princess Nellie. And so, yeah, a lot of the shapes are choosing to fly this morning. Right along Main Street, I just get a glimpse of First in Flight, the replica of the Montgolfier balloon with the first passengers to take flight in a hot air balloon. That was a sheep, a duck, and a rooster, and they are represented in the shape First in Flight. All right, so we understand that Art is in position now in the scoring competition area. That's getting flagged off. Most of you, it looks like, have cleared the field. I see a good ring of people around the flagging area. There's obviously Art is near a balloon because the burner sound just blasted my ears off. So anyway, let's pitch it down to Art, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the competition coming up. Art, take it away.
Glenn, we're at the south end of the target zone, and we are standing by one of 5 X's right here. So this is one that is all by itself. It's a target by itself. There's 2 others that kind of match this, and the idea on this target is actually to drop your marker as close to the center of the X as possible. Now, if I get Eddie to kind of look over my shoulder this way, we see, you could possibly see that there is a scoring area. It's a big flagged off, marked off triangle area. That is part of the Gordon Bennett Memorial. There's an X there too, but the scoring area is actually inside the triangle. So you have to get in a triangle and on an X. And for extra special bonus points, you want to ring a pull. We're going to let you talk because we've got to walk up a little ways to be able to see those pulls. So we're going to walk while you talk and tell us about a couple more special shapes, and we'll talk to you in a second from the pulls.
All right, so we're doing some walking and talking. We're just not doing it at the same time. We're doing it separately. I'm just responding to a text I received here. We discussed this earlier this week. There are people who apparently, you know, the epitome of success is when people start copying you. And there are people out in social media who are stealing essentially our feed of Balloon Fiesta Live, and then they're sending out groups, trying to create groups on Facebook and elsewhere with a different link to be able to watch our feed. Those are scams, and we would urge you to stay away from them. They are not authorized feeds from Balloon Fiesta or from Balloon Fiesta Live. We are available through the link on Balloon Fiesta Live on balloonfiesta.com and on the Balloon Fiesta Live or the Balloon Fiesta Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Some of these other links that you're seeing, they are people who are basically, they're stealing our feed and then duplicating it and trying to get you to watch it through their links. Those are scams, and we can't guarantee you those links are even safe. So I can only urge you to stay away from that, and shame on those who are trying to steal what we're trying to provide to the world here. So yeah, just keep away from that would be our advice. There is the sloth in the air now. Just an absolutely beautiful hot air rendition of sloths, which are quite unique animals, very slow moving like balloons, so very appropriate special shape. I see a couple of the penguins. I see Tall Steve in the sky there. I can't see which of the other, either Puddles or Splash. Pico is the peacock still on the ground with us. One of the bees, I think both of the parents have landed back at the field. They went airborne shortly, but they're behind the clock in my view. So I think maybe they're back on the ground, having decided apparently to come back here on the field. Down at my end of the field, there is Coco the Clown. We were talking about that earlier today with the Balloon Carnival, which is a multi-faced balloon. Carnival is a balloon that has a clown face. It is Coco the Clown, but one side is a happy Coco, the other side is a sad Coco. And okay, so Art has now relocated. I was just saying I was hearing Art in my ears through the IFB, and it was a bit confusing. But he is relocated with the crew at one of the poles, so he's going to tell us about that part of the competition. Art, we'll toss it back down to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Now we have moved to the north side of the scoring area, and we're standing at the middle pole. So this one is on the road. There's two more to my right. There's two more to my left, pretty much in a straight line. So you'd have to be going across the field to be able to have multiple passes on a pole. Remember, the first ring on a pole wins an electric bike plus the cash that is on the pole. And there is $2,000 available on each pole. If you're the only ring on it, you get the entire $2,000. If there are multiple rings on the poles, they will split the $2,000. They'll get all that tomorrow at the awards banquet. Now, I have to tell you, we've talked with the scoring officials out here, and remember we said that there's 5 X's out here.
Yes.
3 of them, that's just the X. The other 2 are part of the Gordon Bennett Memorial. Because of those X's, this entire flagging area is scoreable. So even if you dropped a marker way out here, it'll be measured to those X's, the closest X that's down towards the south end of the field. So any baggie that drops in here will be scored and measured and scored, and they will have a score for the competition. So I believe my watch says it's 8:02. I haven't heard officially, but they're on time. So the scoring competition for today is underway, and we're going to have a hard time figuring out who the competitors are with all the shapes in the sky, all the other flyers in the sky. It's good. Yeah, and with all these targets out here, 5 poles, 5 X's, it's going to be, we're going to be running all over the field here trying to keep you up to speed on who's where, when, and what.
Well, I'm confused, Art, because as I look at the field from the rooftop here, you know, we have scoring area flagged off, but it almost looks like we have 2 scoring areas, because in the center of the field, close to my end of the field, there's a flagging area. We see some of the mounted patroller in it. But then the middle road that goes east-west across the field, there's a line of spectators and people and traffic moving up and down that road. There's flagging there, and then there's flagging further down in the area where the poles are. So it almost looks to me like there's two giant scoring areas flagged off on the field, but there's a line in between them. Is that what's happening down there?
Well, typically we have a scoring area that has flagging around it, and then there is a competition area that is also flagged off. So the competition area kind of being the spot that says we can't have spectators in it. We can have balloons land in it, but as we came out here, there was really only one line of flagging. So I'm wondering if they're trying to get that second piece cleared to be able to put the second row of flagging up.
It might be, but there is definitely a row of flagging at my end of the field, at the south end, and then there is another row of flagging. I'm talking about going east-west across the field. There's another area at the center crossroad. So maybe they're trying to just clear that area, but right now it looks to me as if there are two large rectangular scoring areas. There's two separate flagged off areas.
Yeah, we're farther north than that to be able to tell you for sure,
Yeah.
but it does look like they're clearing that center one out. So I think it's just, as I explained before, we're trying to get that area cleared out to get the second set of flagging, to give the balloons coming in a place to land and not be right in the middle of all the spectators.
Rather than them come all the way to the south end and land in front of Corporate Village where they do, because we do have a lot of spectators down here this morning. Although one balloon did fly in and land, that was, oh gosh, I'm having a senior moment. My friend from Rancho Cucamonga flew in and landed.
Dale Wong.
Dale Wong, thank you. They did fly in and land here at the south end of the field. They had the launch directors with them, and they've actually deflated and are packing the balloon up right now. And they're outside of both the flagging
out
areas.
Here on the far north. Yeah, out here on the northeast corner of the field, we can see that Kermie has actually come back and landed on the field. The footwear, the tennis shoe, the big tennis shoe is inflating, as well as a couple of other shapes. The saguaro dude, the big saguaro cactus is inflating. And so we're seeing shapes still inflating out here on the northeast side. And then, of course, all along the east, there are balloons standing up, and actually a couple more even about midfield. The dino, the orange dragon with the purple spikes and spears is there. One of the bulldogs is still inflating. Sylvester, the putty cat, is inflating.
Tiny the fire dog is also inflating toward a little further to the south end of the field here toward my end, in that group just in front of Pegleg Pete and behind the clock.
Yeah, actually, if I turn around, we just took our camera looking the other way, but Mr. Z, the zebra, is there. The lighthouse is there. You mentioned Tiny the fire dog, baby T-Rex. The race car is there. Snowbird, the penguin that is the tourist. So, yeah, great view of all the shapes from out here in the middle, and the sloth basically kind of flying right over us as he goes past the pole, but again, not one of the competitors.
Right, Speedy is right there too, just past the sloth, and the Volkswagen bus beginning to drop down, it looks like, in there. Hey, Spidey Pig is in the air. We were talking about the piggy banks earlier, Miss Penny and Little Buck. Spidey Pig was kind of an outgrowth of that program, and so good to see that special shape. The late great friend of ours, Wayne Bond, was the creator of those balloons. And Pencil Boy is in the air as well.
Yeah, starting with Miss Penny and
then Little Buck, and then it kind of...
Yeah, starting with Miss Penny and Little Buck, and then into Spidey Pig.
Yeah, exactly. And Pencil Boy is in the sky. I can see him out there with those mirrored sunglasses reflecting a mass ascension if you're looking at it over on the east side. I don't know how you're going to pick competitors out of this crowd, Art. It's going to be a hard job down there for you today.
It is. I see a few that I know are competitors in the sky to the north. In fact, I'm looking off to the northwest. I see Joe Zavada. His balloon's pretty easy to spot with the black, gold, white spirals. I see him off to the northwest. I see Hot Stuff. It used to be called Hot Stuff. It's something else now, but I see a number of the racers are starting to get mixed into things. Hartzell's farther off To the west.
Johnny Petrin is up there. He and Zarek Wells in Guilty are right together. The two yellow balloons. Johnny in the yellow with the black, green, and white spiral. You see them?
I do. From my angle, Speedy is just about to block them, but that's because Speedy's so close to us and coming down towards the ground. But
they're much higher and further out than that.
That's the good thing about the racers. Yeah, that's the good thing about the racers is we know that they're not special shapes, that they're going to be coming in for the competition. So I think the non-competitors are starting to move away and make room for the competitors to drop in on poles and X's and limited scoring areas.
Well, back to special shapes. Right over my right shoulder is Yoda. Here, of course, part of the Star Wars team. We saw them earlier, or was it last night that we saw the Stormtroopers? I guess that was last night. Yoda's here, and then the Moonscape, the brand new special shape of the moon, which will figure prominently in activities tomorrow during the eclipse, of course, the annular eclipse. I've got a few round balloons that are coming in over my head as well. Banner number 445. And that is Morning Mama, I'm not sure, Bob Cross out of Rapid City, South Dakota. He's in a blue balloon that has a rainbow spiral around it, just to the just out over toward the front of the Gondola Club.
One of the things I think we're going to have to watch is there's a couple of paths coming into the field here. We've got a lot of those racers that went out to the northwest are going to try and fly in that way. But I'm seeing a lot of regular shapes that I did not see take off from the field to the south. So I think there's people going to try and fly back in from the south as well as the northwest.
There are.
So we could be having them come at us from double directions.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've seen those shapes and other round balloons coming over my head from behind me here on the rooftop studio, and then going to be coming in to drop into land, for example. On the field, Tick-Tock is the big round alarm clock we were talking about, and then Cuckoo, the grandfather-shaped clock, is out over the field just directly in front of us. Banner number 583 is one of those round balloons that has come in from behind me from the south over my shoulder. Looks like they may be setting up to land. That's the balloon called Zephyr, and that is Chris Van Dyke. From Albuquerque, the balloon is black with these multicolored spires, green and yellow, blue and purple, red and orange. They're low right over the edge of Corporate Row here. They're looking down below them, so I think we've got a couple of launch directors underneath them. I think they're coming into land. So we're going to have maybe some teams coming from the south getting back to the field and landing here at the south end today, Art.
Yeah, we're watching a racer come down off to your west, right over the Gondola Club.
Oh, I see him. That's a Kubitschek, brand new one.
Yeah, Alicorn's going to drop back into your east. And I'm getting more. The racers from the northwest continue to get closer. Not a fast day, and definitely different directions up there, so you're going to have some options. But you're going to have to be really careful how you play those options because they may take you away from the targets and not into them.
I'm thinking we might see some of the competitors coming from the south, coming from behind us, and trying to drop into the target as opposed to out of the northwest.
It does seem that the round balloons are making that attempt from the south you just talked about, while the racers are out here coming from the northwest.
Well, we'll watch and see. It's that's part of the fun of competition, is to and part of the challenge of competition is to decide, what's my best direction. Oh yeah, I just looked off to my west. There's a whole crowd of racers out there. I see one of the Hartzels. I see Ken Drawn. I think Bill Broker in the Plano balloon is out there. Really coming more from the west. Looks like they're launching west and then moving maybe a little northwest to then try to come into the field. I didn't realize they were that far around to the right. I was looking more out to the northwest, but they're really more almost to the west from my location.
And obviously one of the crews for one of our competitors is right off the west side of the field, because I just saw a little pieball get released. Those, of course, are those little party helium balloons going up where we can tell what the winds are doing direction and speed-wise as it goes up. I'm kind of watching it, and it's pretty much going straight up. Might have a little bit to the southeast, so meaning that you want to be on the field when you get really low, you need to kind of be on the north side. That said, I'm watching Taz and a few of the other shapes that are down low, and they're kind of moving back to the northeast. So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. It's so light and variable here that it's going to be tough to get somewhere. Well, right on the field, it's going to be a lot of luck getting to the target today.
I'm looking at
and skill.
I'm watching Johnny Petrin and Zarek Wells out there, and they're racers. They're trying to fly into the fields, kind of from the northwest, and they're staring. Well, for example, Johnny Petrin is staring Spidey Pig right in the face as Spidey Pig is coming toward him, moving from the southeast to the northwest, while Johnny is trying to fly in from the northwest to the southeast to get over the target field. So there's quite a traffic jam up there this morning.
Yeah.
Johnny beginning a descent right now, though, Art.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny's a little farther to the north than Spidey Pig. Johnny still has that direction to the east. Zarek seems to have dropped in the mustache balloon to be kind of trying to line up. But, yes, Spidey Pig a little higher. Actually, Spidey's just stopped up there, as is most of the balloons that are out here. We've got this yellow, regular yellow one with the black spikes at the top and the bottom, just kind of barely moving anywhere. The VW bus managed to make it back over to the east side of the field and land. Taz is just kind of stopped.
Well,
there's the solid red racer that's coming to the south over the top of Taz.
Yeah, and then in the center of the field, the Lion and the Cuckoo Clock look like they're joined at the hip. They literally are almost, I think they may be touching, flying right out toward your position.
Yeah, they're kind of about dead center in the scoring area. Like I said, we're a little farther north. We're closer to the pole on the center. We just kind of picked a spot to kind of start. We'll see who ends up where, and we'll adjust as we need to try and bring you the pictures of folks getting on the poles. And then, of course, remember, this entire flagged off area is a scoreable area. So you could drop way out here and still be scored on one of the X's.
I can tell you.
So a huge scoring area.
Yeah, I can tell you there is a massive crowd here today. I'm looking at it from the rooftop studio, and it's got to be, 100 people thick back to Main Street from where the special shapes are lined up along the very edge of the flagging there. And it looks like that's what a lot of these shapes are trying to do. They're trying to, the Lion and the Cuckoo, for example, are trying to get back over to that section where they then can land and probably stay inflated on the field. But, man, there is a massive, massive crowd here this morning, Art.
Yes, and I can see now that north of the scoring area that we're in, there is another flag north of us that is flagging off the competition area. Again, making a landing spot north and south of the scoring area where balloons can land and not have to dodge spectators.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was confused.
They're talking to Taz.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They're talking to Taz now about what's going to happen about his landing. They've got our safety officials and other folks there to see what they're going to do with Taz. They might walk him all the way back over to the side as well. That seems to be what they're doing. And if the balloon comes down in the competition or scoring area here, you can't land in the scoring area. You can land in the competition area, but they're asking them to continue to fly over to the east side, and if they don't quite make it, they'll walk them the rest of the way.
Yeah, well, right on the surface, as I said, I've been watching both the Lion and the Cuckoo, and they have done just that. They dropped over the center of the field, stayed low, and they have flown all the way to the east side, though now they're a little high to land. They may have to fly on to the east, but it looks like in watching Taz that right on the surface there is an east-west flow across the field. Spidey Pig looks like he's going to drop right down on top of you as well, Art.
He is directly over the top. I have to put my head all the way back to see him. And see, look, he's going to the west
as he's
when he comes down
yeah.
a couple hundred feet to get down to the surface. Yeah, he's going to end up having to go back over to the east.
Then Taz looks like he's just stopped. I don't know if he's still flying or if they're going to walk that balloon, but his forward momentum
they have started
has just
to
stopped.
walk him.
Okay. But yeah, Spidey Pig now is sliding a little bit to the west as he drops down over the field.
Right on top of us. Can you get that shot, Eddie, straight up?
We're looking at Johnny Petrin on the screen on our feed. There's the shot. Great work out there, Eddie. Looking straight up over their position on the field. There is Spidey Pig. You're looking right up into the bottom of the balloon.
With the smiley face on the bottom of the basket.
I'm thinking Johnny Petrin saying, get that thing out of the way or I'm going to have a bacon sandwich coming down to the target.
Johnny's a little farther north yet.
Is he? Okay.
There's some room.
All right. I see Zarek Wells is still out there as well. Those are really the only two competitors I can identify clearly at the moment. Still a lot of the Fiesta flyers and shapes in the sky overhead.
If you look a little bit to the west of and a little bit higher from Zarek and Johnny, you'll see Sean Rea in the Solaire Racer and Joe Zavada in the Spiral one. And then if you look out a little bit farther, you see the Hartzell balloon.
Yeah, I do see
so
the Hartzels.
So they're still working in.
Yeah, okay. I see the Hartzels. I see Ken Drawn. Oh, yeah, there's Solaire. They were blocked by this orange, white, blue, silver, and black racer that's dropping in the land here just in front of me. But now that they're down a little lower, I can see Zavada and Solaire, Sean Rea, and I can see the Hartzels further out to the west, or one of the Hartzels. We never know which one. Still,
you know, it seems like we've only seen Joe come into the competition area. I know the others are flying, but so far it seems like we've only really seen Joe get here.
Well, they scored. No, if you looked at the scoring, Lucas and Rhett both scored well on Monday on the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. I remember seeing them in the top ranks of the scoring, so they must have come by, but maybe we missed them.
Well, that's entirely possible with the number of pilots that scored on the Sid Cutter.
Yeah.
That they got flying a little more stealth, maybe, is the idea.
There is still such an incredible mix of balloons. Now, here comes Johnny Petrin. You might want to watch this. He's descending. We've got him on the feed, and I'm watching him on the field live. So he's coming to you, Art. I'll toss it to you for that.
And he is like directly over the farthest north pole. Starting to put a lot of heat in the balloon to slow that descent.
From our viewpoint, he's just a little to the right of the pole, or east.
He's looking pretty straight down, trying to see where it is. But remember, there are 3 more to the east of him.
Right. What an incredibly amazing day.
Yeah. Using his little wind detectors, dropping a little moisture over the side of the balloon to see exactly what's happening in the air below him. Evo's coming down on the east side of the scoring area here. So our folks will grab him and move him off to the side as well. Johnny's going to go back up and try again.
Well, as he's going back up, he's moving a little more west, as did Spidey Pig. So again, from my perspective, he was just a little right of the center pole on the west side of the field. So as he moves to the west a little bit, he would be readjusting and lining up to perhaps to that pole.
Yes, as he made that adjustment, he also drifted a little bit more south. Not very much at all, but there's a little bit of south in everything that's up there. So you kind of continually drift to the south as you make your east-west adjustments.
Well, he's coming back down again, so he obviously was happy with that adjustment, so he's on his descent one more time.
Yeah,
coming
and he's
down
dropped
fast
a few more
time.
wind markers.
He's dropping much faster this time. Looks to have a good line to the pole, though.
Yep. Meanwhile, you know Zarek up there in the mustache balloon paying close attention to what Johnny does.
Yes. See, I thought Johnny was lined up to that pole that's a little to the west of him, but now it looks like he's coming to the one on the crossroad, more in the center of the field. Is that right?
I believe you're correct, yeah, because he is definitely south of that second pole in,
right.
Definitely east of the far out one, but now lining up, going to play that west to east direction to come in over the center pole.
Yeah, I see him getting right down on the deck, and you can do that, ladies and gentlemen. You can get right down almost on the ground. You can't touch the ground, but you can get the basket to where it's just inches off the ground to take advantage of that east-west wind flow. Looks like that's what Johnny's trying to do. There's banner 005 also. I can't see the balloon. Let's see.
005 is Johnny.
Is Johnny not in the yellow balloon with the green and white, the black, green, and white spiral? Oh, okay.
Yes, but it's banner 005.
Okay, sorry. In the spotting chart, it has Johnny's old balloon, and it confused me there for a moment. My bad.
Well, there was his toss.
Oh, and I see
Good
it just
distance,
on the road.
not enough height. Yeah. Had to throw it anyway. So remember, there are still X's and the Gordon Bennett Memorial. The idea of throwing baggies in the limited scoring area triangle or on the X's. And he's about to go right over that Gordon Bennett Memorial, so we suspect he'll have a great throw there.
Well, Zarek Wells went to school.
Look this way and watch Johnny. Yep.
I was going to say, Zarek Wells went to school on Johnny. He's now making his approach to the targets in the yellow balloon with the mustache.
Eddie, let's look this way. So Johnny Petrin now drifting over the limited scoring area triangle. So kind of going to watch and see what happens there. You see how slow the drift is. Lots of patience.
Yeah, we continue to have balloons dropping in and landing in front of us here at the rooftop, and it's very, very still. Almost no movement at all once they begin to descend. Looks like one of the penguin balloons is coming in to visit us. I think that would be Puddles.
So Johnny's just thrown on the, I think that's the limited area where he's at.
We can see him working the valve line on the screen.
They've got these targets spread out quite far so that we can try and keep an eye and camera lens on all of them. It's a little more difficult for us today. Blaser is coming in here as well, and you'll remember he's been over the target every day we've had competition.
Yep. Joe Zavada has made it to the field now. He's beginning a descent. He's up above the pig balloon in his ratio that is black with a white or silver and yellow spiral. He's just beginning a slow descent up there. Spidey Pig coming to land down here at the south end of the field, as is Puddles the Penguin. And my view of Johnny has just gotten blocked by one of the balloons landing down here.
Johnny's basically about to land over there right along the spectator line. We've got another balloon coming in It's a Cameron Viva with the darker colors. Well, it's light blue, dark blue, purple, green, pink, yellow, orange, red. You know, one of those multicolors.
Oh yeah, one of those. That multicolored balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got Puddles staring me straight in the face here at the moment. One of our Sky Safari penguins. And Spidey Pig is doing the same. He's just about to land.
Looks like banner 223.
I'll grab that for you here. Just give me a second.
And right north of the poles, we've got Zarek in the yellow mustache balloon. I believe that's David Strasberg in the Blaser blue and white balloon. And then the Hartzell, number 11, I think that's 11, dropping in right behind him. And in front of them is Joe Zavada in the one, as you already described, the black, white, yellow. Looks always gold on camera, but out here it's yellow spirals. And they're all dropping in to make that attempt on the pole and then move on to the other X's.
All right. Well,
so we're going to have like 4 try and get to the poles all at one time.
That Cameron Viva you were talking about, that is Morningwood, the name of the balloon. That's Daniel Liberti out of Rio Rancho flying his competition balloon. He flies the Wind Over
There
Wales
was a ring
hopper.
that just came down. I think it was from Joe's. We just had a ring come down. I think it might have been from Joe. Fell well off. I see the pig has, oh no, that's a banner. That's a baggie in their hand.
We've got a good close-up of the Blaser balloon as they're flying by. A little wide of the pole, it looks like. They had the ring out, but now they put it away.
Yeah, they're going back up. They could have probably, well, yeah, they're going to split the poles on this side. Banner 222, the pastel zigzag, is going to drop in front.
That is Pavel Costume in the balloon called Colored. They're here from Cyprus. As I recall, they had a good score the other day.
Kind of drifting. Oh, who's going to throw? Who's going to throw? And we're not going to throw.
Decided not to. We have a great shot of them on the screen. Right
so now
it's
going to be is the pig balloon that drops in, Farmer Pig. Actually, the name of that balloon is Chris P. Bacon.
Aha.
Or is it going to be the Hartzell, the Blaser, or Zarek?
Well,
we're also kind of watching far west, a Barnes zigzag multicolor. I don't see a banner yet. Might have a shot at the far west pole.
I've got a lot of bacon at my end right now because Spidey Pig is just in front of me, along with still Puddles still standing there waiting on them to deflate. So my view of the target is limited to what we can see on screen right now.
Look west to the pole that's right out by the pilot briefing tower. We're going to see what happens there.
We've got a great shot of somebody about ready to try to drop a ring on that pole.
Reach.
Toss. He got it.
It's on there.
So that's a bike and $2,000, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I can't see a banner number. We got a great shot of them in the basket, but the banner's on the side.
Yeah.
And I can't see what balloon it is because I can't see the field hardly at all at the moment.
So you got Crispy Bacon, 587. He's south of the poles, but he's working his way to the Gordon Bennett Memorials. You've got the other green racer with the shades of green moving to yellow on the top coming across the south end of the field. Blaser just dropped in through his ring and missed the pole.
We're now watching the yellow and blue one. Just missed that second pole.
That yellow racer with the green checks around the bottom, that is Steve Jones.
230 is the balloon that got the ring on the pole so far. 230, Glenn.
All right, let me get that for you real quickly. 230 is the balloon called Prairie Sunrise, and that is Patrick Lloyd out of Indianola, Iowa.
Great, he's just drifting across now, going to get over to the X scoring area. Joe Zavada, who threw his ring from high and missed, dropping in as well to try and get to the X's on the east side of the field. Here comes Zarek as well as the Ultra Magic balloon. Hartzels are the one Hartzell that's overhead is south of the poles.
Well, I keep waiting on them to get Spidey Pig and Puddles and the barn. They're all down here blocking my view entirely. So I can only see what we're showing on the feed at this point. So I can't help a great deal. Looks like Johnny
So one of the
Petrin
Hartzell balloons is dropping in now. Both Zarek and Ultra Magic going back up now.
Yep, we have them on the feed
Zarek
now.
again, the yellow mustache balloon. In fact, there was like five all right here together, and all of a sudden they've all decided, except Zarek now, to go back up. Zarek is dropping in. He's got his ring in hand. He's going to throw it. There's the throw. And off the side.
Well, as my friend Bruce Bussey told me once, you can't win a competition with a baggie in your pocket.
There you go.
So Johnny Petrin has landed down here at my end of the field, along with the barn and Puddles and Spidey Pig. All of which have my view entirely blocked for a while here. Looks like one of the Blaser team is coming back down. And it looks like Hartzell, whichever one that is, either Joe Red or Lucas, is beginning a very slow descent back down while Zarek is going back up. Joe Zavada and Steve Jones on the east side of the field climbing as well.
Yeah, Blaser came down, got his marker out, started actually going a little bit north. Now he's really going up. Well, of course, he's grabbing the vent line. I think he kind of overburned maybe on his part.
Both the Hartzell and Zarek Wells are going back up as well. They had both started down. Now they're climbing back up.
Meanwhile, Eric Greenwood in the Enchanted balloon, the yellow with the red silhouette of New Mexico, he's dropping. So there's a lot of up and down here next to each other. Close quarters out here. Eric's I think, gonna try that pole. There was his throw from our angle, pretty close, but no pole. There's a ring that came from up there above. Here comes one of the Hartzells dropping in quickly, south of the poles, so not trying for those, but trying to get into the Gordon Bennett and the X's. Although at the moment there is, it appears, a slight direction back to the north. Yeah, he's definitely coming back north. And now Zarek has made that
as well. We're going to see what Hartzell's going back up. So,
well, I've just got to leave it with you for a while because, I can't see anything from this end until they get some of these balloons that have landed, these shapes that are down here in front of us, get them down. Sorry, but I just can't help you much at this point.
That's all right. That's all right. Hartzell going back north, while the Blaser balloon appears to be parked up there. I've got a yellow, mostly yellow racer with other kind of diamond shape or the eye shape coming down. We'll have to watch.
Someone in the Facebook group.
The banner starts with 1-1. I can't see the third number yet, though.
All right. If you get that, I'll look it up for you. Somebody in the Facebook group asking how many times can each balloon try to put the ring on the pole? Well, they got one ring, and there's 5 poles. Once they throw the ring, that's it. They can only get one. They can come around the field as many times as they want, but they can only drop or throw a ring once. All right, Puddles is finally beginning to deflate here in front of me. I've still got the barn and the Spidey Pig, two of the larger shapes that's possible right here in front of us at the south end.
Now I have the other racer that has, the green theme, and then it moves to the yellow-orange, goes around to the blue, and then it's the red-pink one. And I don't see a banner number, but he's starting to. As soon as I started talking about him dropping in, he stops.
Hartzell's coming down hard again, though, so watch for that.
He is south of the poles. I see him.
Rocky Top.
These guys are working really hard to get to that Gordon Bennett Memorial and the X's down there.
Okay.
Of course, that's the one that counts for the overall. You get the money on the pole, the bicycle's gone. You get the money on the pole, but you get the points in the overall stuff on the X's that are out here. So those guys are really working hard to get to those.
Rocky Top is descending down into the target area, it looks like, from our vantage point. The Nuevo Leon balloon off to the left. He's well west, though, beginning a descent.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Air Rocky Top with Mark Yoakum. Part of the issue here is in this lower 500 feet or so, the layers are so so narrow, and they literally take you in different directions. So you have to be real careful about where you stop your descent to find out which direction. You have to be really right on. But then again, you go back up and try again, which is what's happening with a number of these balloons here right now.
Well, Blaser's dropping hard on down into the storing area, and also up there is a green and blue kind of black spiraled balloon. That is Serenity, flown by Stephen Harrison out of Murray, Utah. They're banner number 142, just so you can watch for that. Right next to that Lithuanian balloon that's green on top and bottom and white all around the center. Blaser down quite low now, it looks like.
Yeah.
And also,
the Lithuanian balloon basically dropping in right over the top of us.
Okay. And then right above him is that balloon I was saying, Serenity. It's a black and green, it's a green and blue bordered by black spiral, kind of a jagged spiral balloon. It's a round balloon just behind the Lithuanian balloon. Our friend Ken Drawn is out to the north, the bright gold and yellow balloon with the interlocking red and blue diamonds. He's still well north of the end of the field, it looks like. Jerry Kopus is high overhead in the waste
management balloon. Yeah, we see him. We're watching
balloon.
The green one. Yep. And he's pretty much south of definitely all the poles, most of the X's as well.
But remember, there's still a layer in there that will bring you back north and give you another shot at it.
Yep. Which is the yellow balloon with the New Mexico outline on it we've talked about. I know you know that local balloon. They're descending over on the east here.
Yeah, that's Eric Greenwood.
Okay.
The Nuevo Leon balloon just threw a marker over, and so that's going to be a good score. Just a little celebration there. 2 markers out over there. I saw an orange one and a yellow one. Remember, the orange one is for the Gordon Bennett Memorial Task, so that one needed to be inside the triangle. Then the yellow one would be for the X. And there is an X that we measure the Gordon Bennett for, so that's really a good strategy to come in and throw the marker on the X and on the triangle. And speaking of doing that, Blaser over on the east side has just dropped in there very low. There's one marker, and there's the second one on the X.
Oh, we just saw
Mr.
that.
Blaser over here, that may be David Strasberg, did just exactly what we saw Nuevo Leon do, just on opposite sides of the field. And those scores will be combined, so whoever got closer on those, even though they were on different targets, it's still the same competition,
right,
and the same task.
If you're 5 feet away on one target, then the other balloon is 10 feet away on the other target, they'll end up being in they'll be scored together, first and second, for example.
Exactly.
Air Rocky Top, looks like they're walking him to a landing at the far north end of the field. Art, but I see Jerry Copas in Waste Management is coming down now. Looks like he's trying to get into the scoring area, right behind that red, orange. And, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, and just as you started talking about him, he wound up the orange marker and threw it out towards the triangle. Can't tell if he actually got into it or not.
Okay, the Lithuania balloon is back down low over the center of the field. It's on a center east.
Yep. He's going to come a little higher over that target. We'll keep watching Nuevo Leon, who is right over the top of us. I think he's trying to navigate back towards one of the poles now.
The red, white, and blue balloon you see out there, the Stars and Stripes, that is the Accident Insurance Company balloon. Blue band, white stars, the red and white stripes top and bottom in the center of the field.
They are the sponsor of Team Fast Tracks this year.
They are indeed.
So Nuevo Leon, who got that great shot and great drops on the Gordon Bennett and on the X on the west side of the field, now drifting east and has a pretty decent line from our vantage point of the far east pole. So we'll keep a watch and see. Just saw him grab for the vent line. Yeah.
We just had a nice shot of their basket on.
It'd be a nice yeah, I was going to say that it'd be a nice hat trick to be able to get the ring on the pole as well.
Yep.
Based on the scores, the drops we saw.
How's Jerry Copas lined up? He's moving right toward a pole, but I can't tell if he's north or south of it in Waste Management.
He is south of it and moving northeast. I think he's going to get too far east before he gets to the pole.
Yeah,
I keep watching Nuevo Leon here. There was a toss from Nuevo, not on the ring. Caitlin Salazar is bringing the Pixie Spirit balloon. That's the one with the Tinkerbell on it.
Yep, purple and blue. Little pink and Tinkerbell in the center.
Ken Drawn keeps going back and forth across the north side of the field.
Well, you know, it's been that kind of a week for Ken.
Lots of yellow with the red and blue and the diamonds. Yep.
Speaking of diamonds, here's a yellow racer with a green, blue, purple, and reddish orange. Forms a diamond, a yellow diamond on the side of the balloon. He's descending now, looking to get into the scoring area, it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm watching 3 balloons. Actually, I'm finding this, watching this blue, black, white, actually on my side, but I can see on your side it's actually got green in the center. Almost to the ground. Right next to it, Hallucinations, the tie-dye balloon.
That the blue, white, black, and green diamond one, that is Bluegrass Racer. That's Nick Donner. Oh, out of Louisville, Kentucky. Nick is a 5-time national champion, a past world champion. So that's a new balloon for Nick. I haven't seen that one before.
And a marker from way high, the pink and blue and teal balloon that's way high. Just dropped a marker in on the X. We're watching 117 come in. That's the yellow racer we've been watching back and forth. That's 117. And then there's the patchwork multicolor regular size balloon.
117.
Just to the northwest of it.
117 is Dan Gregory and Bubbaloon. Yeah, there we go, Bubbaloon. And they are out of Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, over in the UK.
So Nick in the blue one, all the blue racers winding up to throw his markers. So 040 is the regular shaped balloon that's coming in on this middle pole. He's going to go north of it. Bubbaloon that you just talked about, 117. There's over the, just off the side of the pole.
040 is Wrench, flown by, looks like Ben Humphreys out of Woodridge, Missouri. And meanwhile, Monty the Black Sheep has landed here on the south end of the field.
Wasn't too long ago he was out here on the north end.
That's right.
Did you ever notice how it seems like we get 4, 5, 6 balloons all here at the same time, and then we have like 3 minutes and nobody's near the target?
Yeah.
And then we have another batch of them all coming in?
Yeah, and it's funny how the sky is really clearing out above the field. When we started, there was a real traffic jam up there. Now it's really pretty much quite clear, especially over the center area of the field, the scoring area.
You remember a few minutes ago I told you that there's a crew member over on the west side that is sending those observations back to their pilot. They just sent another one off, so somebody's still paying close attention to what the winds are doing. We're watching 229, which is the racer which has the stair step with the yellow, pink, black, green, blue. And he may have a good line on one of the poles.
Well, 229. Sorry, that would be Chris Liberti out of Castle Rock, Colorado, in the balloon called Inflatio.
So it looks like the passenger actually has the ring in hand. Headed right for the pole on the road, the center pole. Might go just a little bit to the side. Again, that's one of those that you can't count on any particular direction right here. You get a general one, but when you need the specific direction, it's, in the case of the Liberty here, it is not going to happen today. Keeping an eye on 166, that's the Arrowwood red, white, and blue balloon. You mentioned that it has the banner from Accident Insurance Company on it. It's going to be maybe a little high over that, and a little far east, it looks like, of that pole as well. Yep, they're going to go on by.
Here comes one of the tie-dye balloons dropping down from high above. Round balloon, one of the original tie-dye balloons. Blue with that yellowish orange tie-dye pattern on it.
So he just drifted down the west side of the field, kind of just, well, was going towards the poles, and then I just kind of lost him. But yes, he's now right overhead. He's gone back up. He's got his orange marker out. He's winding up, and he lets it fly. And it's outside the limited scoring area for the orange marker. Looking up, balloons going in multiple directions straight above us. So the steerability is still up there.
Did he drop a rig yet?
It looks like Hallucination's going to drop back in maybe to try and get another line on this center pole. Well, a little too high, a little too far to the east. It's going to throw the ring anyway. And about 10 or 15 feet off the side. You know, if you throw your ring, even if you don't get to the pole, you don't have to worry about returning the ring back to our scoring officials. All those guys that have rings are going to have to bring them back if they don't actually throw them on the poles. Same for the markers. I saw John Wilson and Jaws make a drop on the, or descend towards the north end. That's the multi-shades of blue with some white in there, but he has now gone back up. There's a racer far over on the west side. Black checkerboard, alternating with the yellows, pinks, blues, and greens. He's come up and down about 3 times, trying to get the right line to the poles. And more over on the southeast side, the blue and pink verticals, light blue on the top, who dropped a marker from very high over on the west side, now is overworking the east targets. And from even higher up, the orange, yellow, and black zigzag, making a quick drop in. I see Mr. Sprinkles, which is J.J. Mancini. That's the light blue and the pink, the purple. We've seen him at the target every day for competition. They have a slight drift to the northwest. Well, I believe that yellow, orange, and black one might be Steve Coughing in Plot Twist. Dropping in to try and catch that very slow drift to the northwest. Yeah, stopping his descent to drop into that layer. Yeah, lots of maneuvering still going on up there. Everybody trying to find just the right level, the right altitude to find the direction they need to get to one of 5 poles or 2 of 5 X's. Here come, I think I'm going to see a marker from a high. Orange at the bottom going to yellow, green, and blue at the top, regular shaped balloon. Meanwhile, we have in a lot of blue kind of stares. So I'm closer now. Lots of venting, burning. Do I throw? Rings ready, baggies ready. This is Keith the Catch in the blue racer with the vertical multicolors going up. And Nick Donner in the racer right next to him. Then we have the green racer dropping in over on the far east side. He's coming in on the Gordon Bennett Memorial. And the yellow racer didn't like that line going back up. He may have dropped a marker that I didn't see. Keith the Catch, banner number 95, working his way towards that center pole. And Nick Donner working his way to the far east pole. Three balloons on a track to three different poles. Blue and pink going for the second one from the east. Keith was on a line for the center one, but it looks like he's going to change tactics, go to the second one from the east. Nick Donner still trying to get to the far east pole. Well, now the pink and blue one has gotten even more east. Keep watching the two eastern poles. Nick Donner in the racer with the black and white checkerboard and other colors going high. The pink and blue staying low. Keith the Catch dropping in on the... Well, not sure which one he's going to end up at this point. Now they're all headed for the far east one.
We just saw Joe Hartzell do a perfect drop line landing right here in front of the rooftop studio. So I guess his competition day is done now.
It feels like we just had a shift of everything to the east again, because all these guys that had this line to the northwest and or north to the poles, everything just shifted and almost turning around to the southeast.
It's hard to tell. I mean, right now it's really just kind of a, I would say, classic light and variable. There's different layers at different levels going different directions. But not a lot of specific layers. I mean, balloons seeming at the same altitude, all kind of going different directions.
Yeah, the other activity that I've just noticed here is Keith the Catch. He's the blue racer that's right behind the blue and pink regular shaped balloon. He was coming right at me and basically just made a 180-degree arc and is headed back the direction he was just coming. So we're starting to see some circular patterns, and he really didn't change altitude. So a little bit of thermal may be starting to develop here on the field. Very light, but just enough to make you drift somewhere you weren't aiming to go.
And we all know how that happens. I was going right to the target, and the left went away.
So we have guys dropping in right on top of us.
The AIC balloon is coming down on top of you.
Yep. Yeah, along with the one right next to it within the yellow and the balloon. The AIC balloon has been kind of all over the field up here, trying all different lines and tactics to get here. Our camera guy is shooting almost straight up. Yeah.
One of the racers that I'm watching down here, if you look to the south, Art, you'll see it's a kind of sky blue, and then it has a spiral zigzag with black and white in the center. It's orange and red on one side, yellow, green on the other. That's Dr. Bill Bussey out of Longview, Texas, and his balloon is called Yin Yang. Looks like he's trying to maybe get back to the target from the south end here. He's just outside of the flagged off competition area, closer to me, but he's trying to, I think, work his way down into the scoring area.
He's going to have to stay where he is or higher to get that direction, because everything below him is turning to the east and a little bit back to the south then.
Well, and higher is going west. If you look at Ken Drawn, who's still up there, the yellow balloon with the red and blue interlocking diamonds, he's just a little above the altitude. Well, Bill's dropping now, but Ken has got a definite east to west movement up there, with a little bit of, actually a little south mixed in. He's coming a little closer to me, a little southwest, looks like. Steve Jones, I see.
The guys here in banner number 080 are talking to the pole, asking the pole to move to them.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Although I did win a pole
but
once.
Hey, you know, you might as well try.
Yeah, once in my flying career, I did win a pole. That's Wildfire, Bill Dobbs in the balloon you're talking about, out of Camas, Utah. The balloon that's red on the bottom and then goes to orange, yellow, greens, blues on top.
Yeah, he's got the best line on a pole at the moment. But I think he's still going to end up a little bit south and east of that far pole.
Oh, and I see Steve Jones is still in
far
that
west, the multi-shades of, far west we have the aqua, blue, and white one. That's Jaws, John Wilson. He has been navigating and working around big time, and he's right over the scoring area there. He's going to drop his marker out on the X and hopefully on the triangle as well, if he didn't already do that. Well, now we're watching number 80, and he actually did get there to the pole. He's going to have to toss it. There's the toss and over the top.
That's Wildfire again, Bill Dobbs. Ken Drawn making a descent now. And Bill Bussey is getting down to the north. He's going slow, but he's getting there.
Nick has come back around again. Hi, Nick.
Oh, yeah, I see Nick Donner there now. Yep.
Yeah, he's like 2.5 feet off the ground.
We're looking
close
at,
enough that we could read the time on his watch.
We're looking at banner number 146 on the screen, or we were. That is that bulbous Cameron down there with the blues and the pink in it and the burgundy. That's Mr. Sprinkles, J.J. Mancini out of Albuquerque, probably one of your buds here.
Yep.
And Ken Drawn is finally making another approach.
He is. He looks like we want to stay on J.J. in 146. He looks like he has a great line.
Yep, he's working
Just
that
put some
line.
venting in so you don't go too high.
Yep. He's right near the pole, looks like. There's the ring on the pole.
Place it on. No throw at all.
All right.
Yes. Good job, JJ.
All right. So that's two people on the pole, and they're on separate poles, so they each have $2,000.
And now the Culligan water balloon. That's the red, white, and blue one. Big white equator.
That is Pat Fogue, who's flying for Culligan Water.
We'll have to see if he's there, but it looks like he's going to get a field goal and split. Green racer, green on the bottom, yellow on the top, 169, making a quick drop in, aiming for the middle pole.
That is Steve Jones flying his balloon Texas Magic.
Now that's where you plan on that little direction to the east. And it looks like it's taking him west.
Meanwhile, down here by me, just over the Gondola Club, Steve Lombardi flying for R&S Motorsports in his racer that is rainbow colored with the black and white checkerboard spiral in it.
Keep watching Steve Jones here. He's got that little back to the east again.
Steve is
again, that's the yellow at the top, green at the bottom racer.
Yep. He's a past national champion, top-level competitive pilot. Actually sold me my first balloon, Yellow Rose, when he was working at Thunder and Colt Balloons.
Yeah. He's going to go right alongside of it. And he's on the pole.
Steve's on. All right. Well done, Steve. So that's another. Now, is he on one of the poles with anyone else, or was he the only one there?
I believe he's by himself on that pole.
All right. So that's 3 individual poles.
Ken Drawn coming over the scoring area, the limited scoring area of the Gordon Bennett.
Yep.
So he's got his orange marker out. That's the one that gets thrown in there. That's good.
Ken's in that. There he
now,
is.
If he
on
hasn't
screen.
thrown on one of the other X's, and he hasn't, because he's got his other color marker out.
Yep.
And that's a good score
nice
within the legs of the X as well.
Well done, Ken Drawn. Ken's worked really hard this week. That yellow balloon with the interlocking red and blue diamonds. And Steve Lombardi is doing the same thing that Bill Bussey has done. Dr. Bussey's in the scoring area now, and Steve Lombardi flying for R&S Motorsports, following him in. The clock, of course, is ticking.
They've
but
got
it's
a little
only,
bit of ways to go to get here yet, but we'll keep watching them.
Well, I was going to say, there's time. The clock's ticking, but it's only 10 after 9, so we've got 20 minutes left and plenty of movement, it looks like, for them to get there in that amount of time.
Oh, I think so.
It would just depend. Now, if they get there and have to make a lot of adjustments to their line, a lot of maneuvering, then the clock might become critical for them. But right now, plenty of time still left.
Yeah, but we are running out of times to do the passes because it takes you a while to get around and back here. So you kind of better be working on your last pass at this point. You still have a little bit of time, but it's time for the last pass. Dr. Bussey winding up his orange marker to try and get to the Gordon Bennett Memorial limited scoring area.
We're looking at
I am watching over on this. Yeah, we've got one. Kind of the yellow racer with the stair-step other multicolors going right by the east pole. Looks like he's going to. I don't see a ring. It looked like he was indicating he didn't have one. Bill Bussey now winding up his white marker. That's the one that needs to go to the center of the X. He threw the orange one earlier. So good scores for Dr. Bussey. The red, white, and blue balloon with the white stars going over the limited scoring area.
He made his marker into a ring, trying to drop it on.
Okay. Did you? Better 224.
Yeah, I heard that.
Park balloon kind of turned his ring into his marker into a ring and dropped that over the pole.
That's Park.
That's the orange marker that should have been in the Gordon Bennett Memorial limited scoring area.
Yeah, that is.
Nick Donner has gone around again for another pass.
That park balloon is Parc de Saint Cyr.
AIC, Sprinkles, and J.J. Mancini.
That park balloon was Parc de Saint Cyr. That is Jean-Daniel Orvad from Finland, who tried to make his marker into a ring. That doesn't count. Nice try, but doesn't count.
Yeah.
Steve Lombardi slowly making his way there.
So we've got a couple of more. There's another ring. That's Dr. Bussey.
Bill got the ring? All right. Well
yes,
done.
He did.
Well done, Bill. So that's 4 on the poles today.
Kind of blocked from, kind of blocked by our view from the black and white checkerboards going up with the alternating yellow and blue pattern, similar to Lindy.
I want to say that's Sandy Graff's balloon, but I'm going to double check that since I can type in the pilot name here. And that is, in fact, Sandy Graff, and the balloon is called American Racer. She is here from Henderson, Texas.
So yet another pass by the blue, pink, and aqua one. You'll remember that they came over the west target, dropped the marker on the X from way high, and have since been working the box to come around, and around again to get back to a pole.
We're continuing to see special shapes along the east edge of the field. I just got a nice look now at baby T-Rex, who is still standing down here on the southeast corner, not far from the pilot pavilion. So it looks like Nick Donner's going to get down
Flying
and try to
Circus, the yellow and blue one on. Yeah.
Sorry, I was
just... Nick's coming down on the far west side.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try
Flying
again.
Circus with Neil Jackson's kind of bopping up there. Yeah, I told you he kind of got a little blown off in the other balloons in front of him going for the pole a few minutes ago. Okay, we'll go up. We'll make another pass. Here's this other pass on the poles by 086, the blue and pink, with the light blue at the top. They're going to end up going between. Nick's going back up. Maybe he's going to try one more pass.
Well, and Steve Lombardi is coming down. Looks like he's trying to get into the limited scoring area for the Gordon Bennett, if I've got my targets located correctly. He's kind of right in the center of the field between the north-south road and the balloons over on the east. Although he's pushing east now. He just dropped enough that he's now getting that flow over toward the east. That might not be what he wanted.
Yeah, he's past the scoring area. He's past the Gordon Bennett and the X's. He's basically in line with the poles.
Okay.
The AIC balloon has gone back south again. It's going to make yet another pass across us.
Nothing wrong with that. Nick Donner going back up. Probably trying to line up another pass. EOS is out there. Do you see him?
And my good friend Ralph Kaiser. Yeah. I was just going to say that's Ralph up there.
Yeah.
He flew our camera for us early in the week.
Yep.
And now he gets here when he doesn't have the camera.
That's twice he's done that. We gave him the camera and he went flying in Bernalillo. And we don't give him the camera and he comes to the field.
Yeah.
So Steve Lombardi looks like he's
going to blame us for jinxing him.
Yeah, probably. Steve Lombardi looks like he's just getting over to the east and probably going to land over there. So he's made his pass through the targets.
So this checkerboard racer dropping in on the west side of the field.
Yep.
With the blacks and then all the other colors. And I do have Flying Circus. I think that's right, dropping in next to me. That's 48. So, and the other racer is 008.
All right. Let me find that for you.
And Mandrell's dropping in on the southwest part of the field as well, going to make a pass in here.
008 up here shows a rainbow spiraled round balloon. Maybe they're flying a different balloon. That would be Bubba Cliver, the balloon called Not Provided out of Louisville, Texas. But the picture doesn't match what we're seeing. But that's
Yeah,
the banner
Bubba got 2 new balloons and got them new enough and late enough that we didn't get them into anything.
Okay.
So that looks like him flying.
All right, well, that's the banner number, 008, Bubba Cliver out of Louisville, Texas.
And Ralph Ineos is now dropping in to try and make that pass through, as is Sane Haas. That's the red racer with the blue and white rectangles.
Okay. Nick Donner still hanging out there.
Yeah, that's Sane Haas over there. Just about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the clock's becoming a factor. It's 9:19 now, so 10 to 11 minutes left.
Nick Donner has made it back south of the poles again. Didn't have to go very high to get pushed back to the south, so he can drop in and make yet another pass. As did the blue and pink one that has gone around. I think that was number 86, if I remember right. He's back there down by you, dropping back in to come across. AIC's coming back towards us. Banner 99, that's the yellow with the diamonds in it, brown and green verticals. And again, Mandrell over more in the southwest part of the field dropping in. What a great morning out here.
It's been incredible, and it remains, you know, I mean, the balloons, we've had shapes up on the east side all morning long. Balloons landing everywhere, all over the field.
And it's worth mentioning that our RC balloons, our Los Globitos balloons, are now inflating on the northeast corner of the field.
They are sponsored here by the city of
They're
Las
sponsored
Vegas, New
this
Mexico. I just said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, the
That's
city of Las
okay.
Vegas, New Mexico is their sponsor. So Bubba's dropping in, it looks like, pretty sharply in his racer. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish. Maybe you can see better than I. He might just be trying to get down the land.
Well, there are X's underneath him, and if he does drift back to the north, he'll get to...
I think we may have just lost Art for a few minutes. Looks like Nick Donner is dropping back in the center of the field. Art, I think we've got you back now.
Okay. Yeah, Nick is dropping in, and I was saying that Bubba dropping in is probably... he's going to be close to the X's, and if he can stay going straight north, he'll get to the limited scoring area.
Before we get to the close.
And now everybody that's low is moving to the east.
Yeah, they are. Before we get to the close, do you want me to fill and then we'll wrap when you're back with me, or do you want me to wrap up and we're done?
No, we're going to do an out at 9:30. So as soon as the competition is over, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go to some great performances on the stage here.
Okay.
Bill Royal will tell us more about that and all the other activities that are going to take place here on the field. Remember, it's Kids Day, so check out the Balloon Discovery Center and everything else. And, of course, with another event this afternoon, you could just stay all day if you'd like.
Absolutely. I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to wait till you were back up here for us to wrap up or not. That's what I was asking.
No, sir. Since we don't have a Gordon Bennett show, we can wrap everything up at 9:30 as the competition does.
Okay.
Give us an extra half hour for a nap before we are back for our Special Shapes Rodeo tonight.
That's right, with Team Fast Tracks jumping in and all sorts of other excitement tonight.
The drone show, the afterglow fireworks.
I was about to say we'll have the evening drone show version. We'll have our afterglow fireworks. More entertainment down on the main stage. Good Friday night coming up. So it looks like Ralph is about to land.
So I don't have anybody. Yeah. And Sade right behind him. I was just about to say I don't really see anybody getting back to the poles in the next 7 minutes or 6 minutes or so that we have. This paint drop Aerostar banner 5-4 is just about to drop. There he goes, his orange marker into the limited scoring area, and it falls just outside.
That was
we do have one of the chain gang racers.
Sorry, that balloon was Midlife Crisis. That was just outside. That is Robert Rapier out of North Bend, Oregon. In that black balloon with the the paint drop pattern on it.
Yeah. Well, on the side that's turning to you, yeah, it's paint coming down. Now on the side coming to me, it's going up.
Going up.
You remember there were that pattern was very popular for a long time.
Yes, that was a stock Raven or Aerostar balloon pattern for quite some time.
We do have one racer coming in from the far north side. This is the teal one with the geometric red and blue on it. That's one of the chain gang balloons. I'm not exactly sure which one and which right is flying it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was about to say that was one of the rights, but I get like you, I'm not sure which one. Let me see if I call them up in the app here, what turns up. All right, in the racer, allegedly that would be Tommy Wright in Unchained. That's according to what's in
Thanks for looking that up.
In the app. All right, that's what I'm here for. Just lending a hand. Nick Donner, meanwhile, beginning to make a descent here at the south end, so probably setting up now to land as we're nearing the very end of our competition window.
I think so. And using the turning vent to vent as he spins on his way down.
Yeah.
Just going to kind of drop in there by Mandrel. And I see Sunflyer that's almost over the top of you. The blue balloon with the yellow and red Zia. That would be Josh Bacon flying that balloon.
Is there a balloon over me? I don't see him anywhere. Must be behind me.
Well, maybe he's blue with the yellow Zia?
Yeah, there's nothing right above me in any direction, so he's got to be behind me. If you can see him, I can't. Nope.
Yeah, from my angle, it looks like he should be over you, but he could be behind you.
Nope. He's behind me. We've got him on screen now, but he's certainly not overhead of the rooftop studio. I don't see him anywhere, no matter which way I look.
Yeah, we're just kind of watching from our vantage point here. There really isn't anybody close enough. All the balloons to the south, other than Nick, have basically landed on the south.
Yep, and Nick's
got one up off to the east side over Concession Row.
Yeah,
and then Tommy Wright out here on the far north end.
Nick's coming in to land right now, so these balloons are all done. And unless the chain gang balloon can get in there, I think we're probably nearing the end.
He's just a couple of feet off the ground. Basically, it's stopped out there. I don't see or feel anything that's going to get him here in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's just take a minute here and kind of wrap up this morning. Of course, lots of things happening here on the field all through the morning. The RC balloons will stay inflated, so you might head up that way for those of you out along the competition row. Head out to the north end of the field and check out the RC balloons. We We believe we set a world record the other day for the most number of remote-controlled balloons inflated at the same time at 60. They were up for a number of minutes altogether.
Actually, the number that
we documented that. We'll be sending that up.
The number that Karen posted, I can't recall. It was either 54 or 58. It was definitely a 50 number. It wasn't 60. As far as the record of
the number I first heard was 60.
I think that's what they were trying for.
Yeah, the number I first heard was 60.
Yeah, but what she posted on her, I saw on her Facebook page, it was a 50 number, and I'm going to guess it was probably 50. I'm going to say 58. Let me see if I can find that real quick while we're still on the air, maybe.
Yeah, so Karen was a little more. Karen obviously has turned herself into a RC balloon builder these days and is very involved with the RC balloon group. And so she probably has the better number, but the early number from that day was 60. Maybe reviewing the photos and things like that, they ended up at the 50-something number.
Yeah, her post says did it.
Yeah,
new Guinness World Record for model balloons, and the number is 58. That's on her Facebook post, so I don't know how official that is, but that's the number I saw, 58.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that by looking at the photos, they reduced that 60 to 58.
Yeah, I'm sure they did a head count to certify the record. So, still, well done them.
Hey, Glenn, I think it's time for us to get out of here and let Bill Royal and the entertainment on the stage take over, as well as our RC balloons as well. So let's just say goodbye for the morning, let you have fun on the field. We'll be back tonight for our Special Shapes Rodeo on the air at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And you can do the conversion to your time zone. I'm Art Lloyd Jr. out here on the competition field, and you are?
I'm Glen Moyer on the rooftop studio. You're watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. We'll toss it now to the main stage. Mr. Bill Leonard. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you tonight. Have a good day, everybody.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. This is the 51st edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the world's premier ballooning event, and the 66th Gordon Bennett Coupe Aeronautique. Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.